What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Gen TV podcast. As always, your boy Ease.
Hey, one of Sauce God.
And as always, we have a very, very special guest in the building today. We have another fellow podcaster here. We got the boy, the man, the legend, the myth, Nasdaq Ness in here. What's good with you, bro?
I appreciate it.
But he's not just a podcaster. He holds like many titles, bro. Battle rapper.
Yeah, I did that. Rapping, podcasting, battle rapping, hosting, all types.
All that shit, right?
Yeah.
Now you're one of the hosts on the podcast With All Due Respect.
Yes, indeed. Me,
How's it going?
It's going. It's busy, but it's going. It's going. It's something that takes time.
You know what's funny? Like, I've known this guy for years, right? Known his voice for years, but I think this is like one of our first encounters with each other. Like,
so you just know his voice?
Essentially, yeah. You gotta make it like that.
No, I didn't make it like anything. I asked
you could have just took it as like an innocent comment, and you just had to bring it there.
It's still innocent. You're making it weird. No, you're making it weird. Did I say anything?
We both felt it. You feel it?
Right. You got it a little bit.
No, so that's insecurities. All right, I didn't insinuate. I just said you're just really familiar with his voice.
You could say that. Well, I'll let you have your moment, bro. You can say that.
There's no moment to be had. I asked a simple question. Okay. Your insecurity started projecting out.
You know what you're doing right now? You're gaslighting me. That's what you're doing.
Okay, well, with the Gen Z lingo?
Right, yeah. Narcissist.
I will say that's gaslighting. That is gaslighting.
Yo, it took me forever to understand what the word gaslighting meant. But then when I finally got it, I'm like, oh shit, this is like a very usable term, yo.
Yes,
especially if you have a girl, you know what gaslighting is. That's when I figured it out. I'm like, oh, this is that thing she does when I'm upset.
Right. And she makes it about her.
Gaslighting, okay. I get it.
Make you feel small. That's what it is, you know? I feel small right now, bro.
It's a way to place blame.
Okay. I wasn't doing that. I think that was more of an insecurity issue.
It was projection?
Yeah. Okay. But let's get into it, man.
Okay.
So, as y'all know, Kendrick had a pop-out show in Compton on Juneteenth the other day.
Yeah.
We asked you guys on Facebook what you thought about it. We'll read some of your responses.
So we asked you guys what you guys thought about it on Facebook. Bruhman from Flip Force said, we get that he think he's Bishop from Juice.
Okay, I mean, he was... I seen some pictures resembling a Tupac outfit that Kendrick wore on the show. So I kind of understood the reference, and it's refers back to Drake's bar on Family Matters.
But it also is why he switched. I don't know if y'all noticed that he switched the bar in the record.
Yeah.
Because that
he switched a couple
bars. Yeah.
But the main one was the Tupac ring, and that's the whole point of it all, was that he was saying that, like, how that was kind of a disrespectful shot. And they've been kind of talking about it. You can hear a couple other artists talking about it too. How, like, you shouldn't involve somebody you didn't know, and that's how. Remember, he did the Tupac voice.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yo, did you take that as in a disrespectful manner when Drake did that? Use the Tupac AI?
I did. I thought it was corny. Like, that record I can't even listen to, even though he lyrically he did his thing, but I can't listen to it because I feel like, to some people they say it's creativity. I feel like, no, if you are who you are, you didn't even need to do that. But then what you tried to do is you tried to use their names to help you, like, basically get over on, because you, instead of your skill, what they talked about was that you sounded like Snoop and Tupac.
Okay.
But you didn't need to do that. You try to use West Coast people. You not from. Why you?
So I kind of agree with what you're saying. I could see where you're going. I don't agree though. Yeah. I don't agree because I feel like it was a great strategic move. You know, like, I think that him targeting Kendrick Lamar with some West Coast people that are his idols that are very influential to him. It wasn't like he was trying to use them to make his name bigger. It was him trying to get under Kendrick Lamar's skin, and I think he did an amazing job at that, to be honest.
I'm gonna show you why I say that doesn't work.
Okay.
Because it wasn't the actual people. So now you look goofy because you AI'd your voice to sound like Snoop, who's here. Why you couldn't get Snoop? Because Snoop wouldn't.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to get Snoop.
But right? but I'm saying, if you're gonna do Snoop's voice, Snoop is alive. Yeah. But Snoop is gonna look at you and say no, like that. But that's my point.
Snoop kind of co-signed it though.
But Snoop said he liked it, that it was like it was creative. But Snoop would have said no. Like, even Snoop was like, I would have said, like,
yo, I think
you ain't going against the West,
bro. I think anybody would have said no. Right. I understand, like, the disrespect. I think a lot of people are fake Tupac lovers. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't really 100%. Listen to Tupac. Can barely name
100%.
A Tupac song. Right. Don't know what his albums 100%. Are. Yeah, I think most people even know Tupac as more of an actor than a rapper.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like a cool thing to say when it comes to hip hop. Like, oh,
Like,
Tupac's,
who's your top
and
three?
Biggie are one of the best. It's like you don't listen to them,
bro.
You
The moment
you listen to
if you ask somebody and they say who's their top three and they say Tupac or Biggie, the conversation's over. Like I don't want to hear you, bro.
If they're below 30,
I don't even want to, bro. At any age.
No. If somebody says Biggie, I understand it. The reason why I don't understand it with Tupac is because even Tupac himself, when he was in his mode, his best music was made before he was Death Row Tupac. If it was before he was Death Row Tupac, that's before we ever had a Biggie. And most people, you don't know activist. That was activist Tupac.
Right.
Most people don't.
That wasn't gangster Tupac, which most people think that's all he was.
Yeah, and that's what I say. You don't even know that side of him. You know his poems later. And most people, you got to be above 30 for that. So that's why I say, the reason why I say that I can understand Biggie, because you can go in any club, any party.
They still play.
They still play. That's a valid argument.
There's two people I don't ever want to hear somebody tell me that they listen to all the time, because I know you're lying.
Don't tell me KRS One.
No.
Okay.
Tupac and Eminem. I don't see. There's no person I know that drives around with an Eminem album. I don't care what
valid
you're
guy.
talking
Valid.
It was
valid
MC,
point, bro.
But there's no the space to listen to his music. You can't listen to it in a party. You can't listen to it in a club. You have to want to sit down and hear him talking about killing his mom.
Okay. Here's where I disagree. Right. In today's world, I can co-sign that. Right. 10 years ago, when Eminem was really going on that run, when he made that collab album with D12, you could play Eminem consistently. He had a good 2007 to 2014. I think he was still consistent, and he made good music that I personally listened to. And then like there was just a point where I kind of just like, all right, this wasn't for me anymore. Yeah. So that's where I disagree. I think you could, if you listen to old Eminem, that's fun.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like Slim Shady.
No, I'm saying I get that point, but what I'm talking about is I'm not saying that you can't say he's not nice or you can't say you listen to it. I'm talking about you can't tell me he's your favorite, because see, that's the difference. People will get that confused. When you tell me something's a classic, it doesn't go away. Like I was just talking about this yesterday. I had a conversation about this yesterday. What year are we in? If I put on Michael Jackson right now, what happens?
You gonna bop to it.
Everybody will.
Bop to
There's
it.
nobody that's exempt. That's a classic. If I put on 50 Cent Gets Rich or Die Trying, what year are we in? We're literally past 20 years of it. I don't. Everybody knows at least 5 records off that album.
Right.
But I'll say, if you play the real Slim Shady, it's gonna get a bop.
But what records? If right now, if I told you to name 5 songs off the real Slim Shady, and when I'm
talking about the actual song, not the album. I'm talking about the actual song.
I'm talking about the albums. That's what I'm saying. Like he might have a song that you know, but I'm talking about if it's a classic, the album. Even right now, Eminem has like 7 albums. Right now, you could probably name 10 records, and all of them would be the single. What's about the rest of the album? Like but if I told you Get Rich or Die Trying, you could name the whole album.
I disagree with you there. So I personally can name almost every song on Get Rich or Die Trying. That's one of my favorite albums.
But everybody can.
Yo, that was actually one of my introductions into hip hop when I was at that age, right? But I would say the average person, right, in today's world can't name probably 4 or 5 songs on Get Rich or Die Trying.
I can't name 4 or 5 songs on Get Rich or Die Trying.
There we go.
You're lying.
If you name them,
no. But if I name, if I played them, I'm not saying this. If I played them right now, trust me. If I named them right now, you would say I know every one of them songs.
Probably.
Biggest one is Many Men,
of course.
Pimp.
Yep.
21 Questions.
Yeah.
Wankster's on it.
Yep. Is Wankster on it?
Yeah, Wankster's on
towards the end. I think it's towards the end.
So you know them, but not off the top of my head.
Get High all the time.
But even that,
maybe not that one.
There's more of them. What am I missing? There's Heat Wave. There's what's the Ja Rule disc? Back Down.
Back Down.
We can go.
Actually, and then speaking of Eminem, there's that one song in the intro. It's like I think first 2-3 songs with Eminem.
That's fire. Yeah.
Fire song.
But as I said, as an artist, he's incredible. But as far as projects, you can't. That's why I started saying when somebody.
Here's my issue, right? You're saying that people can't. If people name Eminem as one of their top artists right now, you think they're faking it, right?
Yep.
One thing that we forget as hip hop consumer is hip hop is like the consumers is like 70% white, right?
Yeah.
I think they really listen to Eminem. I really think they do. I think the people in your world, right, in your immediate world, don't listen to Eminem, right? But are most of your like closest friends white?
No, I have both, but that's
what I'm saying. But like
I grew up. That's what I'm saying. I have a lot of friends I grew up with that are 100% white, and I'm talking about they love when the Eminem came out. Right now, if you ask them, they'll be like, "Yo, I can't even."
Bro, here's the wild shit, right? My son's 10. Mm-hmm. He's telling me about Eminem songs. Which is concerning. Yeah, which is concerning. So it's like, first of all, your life's a lot better than his. I don't know how you're relating to this music. Yo, but like my son is like a 10-year-old, right? Is getting into Eminem, which is wild to me, right? Yeah. But so that's what I'm saying. I think there's a good majority of people that actually actively listen to him.
Let me clarify more what I'm saying. I put it to you like this. We can stand outside anywhere in this city, in any surrounding city, tell every car that drives by to turn their radio up and name one person that you heard ever. And I'm talking about even in the last 5 years, drive by you playing Eminem.
I could say the same about Kendrick Lamar.
No, no, that's what they did say. Think about it. When they talked about him and Drake, that's what they did say. They said, "Oh, everybody's Kendrick Lamar fans now," but I don't hear none of you playing him. And I understand it. I agree. And the funny
we got a lot of shit about that on fucking Instagram, bro.
And know what's funny? I am a Kendrick Lamar fan to a degree because because he's real creative and certain stuff that he goes in artistic direction. I'm not a fan of. Like the last album, it was artistically
mid.
good.
It was mid. It was mid, right?
But,
I know it's taboo
it's
to say that anything
that.
Kendrick puts out is not amazing, right? His last album was mid.
And for you to but for you to say that it was, I guess, a negative thing for Drake to use the AI for Kendrick Lamar or for the diss for Kendrick Lamar. What about Kendrick Lamar using AI for Nipsey Hussle's face and I think and Kobe.
He used Kobe.
Yeah.
That was
like, and he's pretty much talking on their behalf, saying that he forgives the person that killed Nipsey Hussle. So it's like it's okay for Kendrick to do it
because he's sending a message. Now what I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. He's trying to send a message, which, like I said, that's where he goes artistically left. If you notice that he's known for that. Yeah. But that's what the last album was. I won't say his album's mixed. I think that's incredible what he did lyrically. As like that's why he's like a rapper's rapper. Most rappers when they hear him, they're like even wasn't even a whole interview about that. What's his name? I can't remember his name. He just did an interview about it. But he was talking about it. He did an interview. He's like, yo, I promoted the album more than Kendrick. He said it. So it's real funny because he's a rapper. Most rappers feel that way, but it's artistic expression to a different degree. Because when do I listen to that album? The Mr. Morale album, he's talking about so many traumatizing things. When do I want to sit and listen? Like, what am I gotta be doing?
Here's the thing, right? Here's what I say, right? As I listen to like the last Kendrick, like my favorite song is that one where he's arguing with I think a girl.
Yeah, everybody loves it.
The fucking videos, fire,
right?
Right? The actual song, fire, right? But there's not too much replay value. Yeah. It's like, Kendrick makes music where I listen to it one time, like, okay, this is dope, but like, I'm not gonna play this on a regular basis, right? Mm-hmm. And that's like, I think a lot of his fan base is like, there's not too much replay to I'll say the last album. I think some of his earlier stuff's a lot more digestible on a more daily day. But yeah, I feel like a lot of his fans prior to this beef was very closeted, right? You wouldn't know. Yeah. Bro, there was people that I've known for legitimately 10 years coming out as a Kendrick fan. Like, bro, like, when have you ever mentioned this man?
Never. Never.
Wait, what?
Hold on. Before we digest too much, let me finish. Let me go through these comments. Let me read through it. Let me read it. Let me read through this. Right. All right. So, Dimitri Cole said, a few moments in music that have so much culture. Dot was able to do that. He's definitely certified.
Bro, watching the actual performance was like, it was dope. Like you felt the energy, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone in the audience was in sync, locked in, like new. A lot of that. A lot of crip walking. A lot of crip walking. A lot of Pyru, a lot of Bloods. Yeah. I mean, bro, like watch. I don't know who edited that shit from Amazon, but that man needs woman needs a fucking...
The way how the fucking crowd was like perfectly leveled so that you could... Because I don't know if you know, but if you listen to a regular recording, if they don't have the mic on the crowd, you won't be able to hear it and the crowd will sound dead. Yeah. But for them to like have the level perfectly so that way you can hear both the crowd and him rapping,
bro, I'm just
it's
talking
like
about,
insane.
I'm just talking about the actual like visuals, like the way they kept cutting, like they panned them around.
The wop.
He did it on like whoever was in charge of editing that shit, like bodied it. Yo, give that man a raise. I say that, or woman, or whatever he identifies as.
All right, so Danny said, bro was just wearing clothes. Y'all making anything up to fit in. So he wasn't just wearing clothes. So it was confirmed that this was a reference to, I want to say Tupac's. It was one of Tupac's performances in like in the 1990s. He specifically wore an outfit that referenced that that event. So it wasn't just he wasn't just wearing clothes, and we're not just doing it just to fit in.
Okay.
And then Nelson lastly said movie, that the performance was a movie.
Yo, definitely
it was.
Yeah.
Yo, one of the dopest like live events that you've probably seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Very influential in the culture.
So now, where do you think it goes from here? Wait, hold on. Before I even answer that question, answer the AI thing.
So, like I said, like Kendrick was sending a message. Now we've had other rappers; they've changed their voice and did things like that. But my point of it is, when you're in a beef since when is it okay to go call your friends? That's basically what you're doing. But not let alone you went and called some people that's not your friends. That's corny.
So that's how you interpret
yeah,
the
because you're speaking on Tupac. Tupac ain't even like he shouldn't even be in your mind because where do you get Tupac and Kendrick? Right. Think about it.
Well, that's an easy connection. But that's Kendrick's like idol.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But that to me was
that's like using Biggie. If you diss Jay-Z and you use Biggie, you're not gonna survive that battle.
But the thing is that it's like, okay, here's a person that you openly, publicly said that this is your person that you look up to. This is a person that you emulate. This is a person whose footsteps you want to walk in. This is a person that's influential to you. So yeah, it makes sense.
So let me ask you a question. How did you feel about when Drake didn't respond to Joe when Joe gave him 4 records?
Joe is not worthy of a response.
So wait, you say that, right? Now go back to the footage of what he said, and I watched it when he did it, the day it dropped.
Bro,
when he said, I'm sorry. Yeah, when he said, I'm here with one of the greatest rappers of all time. To me, this is my idol. I'm in your presence. To Joe, and this is on camera. You could do it's on YouTube.
Yo, but there's all right. Here's what I disagree. I don't like you using that reference because there's video proof of all these other niggas sucking Drake's dick. Kendrick as well, right? Do you see that video?
What you mean?
Where Kendrick's like just thanking Drake and all this.
They're friends.
I'm just saying, like, I don't like that you use that Joe one, right? Because it's like there's video proof of it. Like there was like video proof of Drake praising Pusha T. There's Pusha T.
Yeah, but that's also why Push was able to do what he did because Pusha never. There's no real Pusha praising Drake. He's never liked him, but he just stayed out the way. So
but A$AP Rocky has praised Drake. You got Rick Ross praising Drake.
A$AP Rocky and Drake were friends, and then the only reason why they have a problem now is beyond. That's what I'm saying. All these people were friends. Even Kendrick has said, remember, he said, I pray they're my friends. Otherwise, I'm
but you're saying that to say that Drake saying that Joe is saying it to the
game.
But to say that about him and say that he's one of the greatest rappers, and know what's funny? After the beef, people forget, he called in on Joe's show. This is on Joe's show now. He said.
Talking about Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Budden. Jake still said, like, dog, he's nice. Why do you think we DM each other?
No, but the thing is, you could be nice. You could be extremely skilled. Like, I'm pretty sure there's people in the NBA that's better than LeBron, but LeBron is that nigga.
There's a point. All right, so listen to this. So he dissed Pusha when Pusha never said a word about him, when Pusha didn't have a deal. So if you're going to weigh that scale, you thought that was an easy Vic until it wasn't. And you got to remember, his thing with Pusha, and I don't mean it started when Pusha was with Good Music. No. Go all the way back when it originally started. When Pusha dropped the video that was dissing Lil Wayne with the record. That's where Drake dissed him. And he just said, that's what he said. I don't know where Drake came from because I was talking to Wayne. The whole time he's been talking to Wayne.
So for him to be a good friend or for him to be a good mentor, that's a problem?
No, what I'm saying is
so we give Rick Ross shit for not defending Meek Mill, but we're giving Drake shit for defending Lil Wayne?
No, I didn't say I'm giving him shit. What my point is to you is you said that Joe wasn't of the caliber.
He's not.
But that sounds crazy.
Bro, you can be extremely skilled, but just not work. Kendrick. So my honest opinion.
Hold on. I get your point, right? That'd be like if TSA Surf, right, dropped the diss against Drake. Is it worth? Is it worth?
Not the same.
No, but I would say Joe's closer to battle rappers than he is to Drake.
There's a difference. So now this is what you got to understand. Joe and you're talking about rap music. Reason why Drake said what he said about Joe isn't because Joe has some incredible track record far as like album sales. It's because Joe is in people's top 20, period, lyricism. Like, so other rappers speak to Joe in a different level. He's in a different light.
I mean,
so Drake
I get that's why his opinion is so asked for when music shit happens, right? That's why the Joe Budden podcast is what it is, right? Because he's a rapper turned podcaster. So his opinion definitely matters because of his skill set.
I'm about to say, but it's about his level of rapping, though. See, that's what I'm trying to say. So, like, you can't say that because if you say that, it's the same thing as saying that Fab doesn't deserve a response because Fab will say the same thing. Like, yo, if you talking to Joe, you better really be talking to Joe. Joe has went at it with some of the top rappers in the game, including Hove, is giving a response. And Hove don't give everybody a response. So Drake is nobody special to not give him a response compared to some people that he sent shots at.
The only problem with that
people that don't matter.
The only problem with that logic is, right, and I'm gonna tie it in with you is, right, obviously skill is a factor when it comes to rap, right, and getting a response from like a certain degree of rap, right, because there's people I know locally, right, that I could probably say are close to them, right, skilled, right, skills wise. They'll never be there.
But see, again,
musically. No, that's what I'm saying.
But you're talking about a guy with a platinum record.
But
But a guy who
But
was
which album got the platinum record? Which album?
Pump It Up is a platinum record.
No, I'm saying, but like
multi-platinum record.
But how you wouldn't respect that?
Give me another platinum record.
No. But it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
But you wouldn't.
Because what he just said, and you name local guys. That's not the same playing field.
Okay.
Joe Budden has a platinum record, a whole legendary mixtape series. And
Right.
he had players. I'll give it to you like this. Joe Budden has 3 times what A$AP Rocky has. Don't tell me anything different. Even skill wise. What are we talking about? I'm talking about career and skill wise.
Yeah, but the thing.
And then at the time, Joe Budden was coming off of MTV. It ain't like Joe Budden was sitting at home on the couch.
Yeah.
He had the podcast, MTV, and an album out. And he had a top 100 album out because he had the record with Lil Wayne and Tank out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like Joe was not just doing nothing.
No, but I'm saying we're talking about in terms of like notoriety. Like you can have a rapper that is active, but just on that level, it's not. It just doesn't make sense. That's like saying when Drake and Meek Mill were going back head to head, was that an even matchup?
Yeah.
No, that was not an even matchup. It was in Meek Mill's favor.
Are you talking about skill wise or like
in skill wise,
fame wise?
In skill wise, it was in Meek Mill's favor.
No. Wait, you're wrong right there. Skill wise, it was in Drake's favor, but in at the time, notoriety wise, Meek Mill is coming off of a gold album with a gold album going against a multi-platinum artist.
They were pretty.
The only thing that was saving him was the fact that he was on tour with
they were equal because at that point, that was before Meek Mill became corny in a sense. Like Meek Mill was still a certified hit maker at that point. I would say almost on par with Drake. Like if you had Meek.
Oh no.
I said almost. I said almost.
Nah, he's not even.
I think skills wise,
Meek Mill at that point.
Okay.
So I got a question for both of y'all. Because
Yeah.
after you said that, do you believe Meek Mill is more skilled than Joe Budden as a rapper?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
So, but this is the question. If this is the funniest part about that, you can go on Twitter right now and ask Drake that, and most likely Drake will even answer you. People have said that to him where he said why he don't respond, and he was like, "Come on now." And that's what I say because they talked about it. It's been a thing where he's like, "I know what that would do."
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, right? You just like we'll take it to boxing real quick, right? You could put Davis, right, which is like his name is like one of the biggest boxing names right now, right? Mm-hmm. There's probably a fucking fighter out of Rhode Island right there that could probably give him a run for his money. No, listen. Let's listen before we speak, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm just saying, there's probably boxers out there, right, that could give Davis a run for his money, potentially beat him, right? But at the end of the day, right, what matters in this business at this point, right, is your name. So, there's certain people that might be skillfully worth the response, but if their name just isn't big enough, you're not going to get a response. Because, there's no benefit for me as the bigger person to give to you.
Now, what about like, so even to go along with this argument, right, to be a little bit more even, I would say that I don't think Drake should have responded to Kendrick, to be honest with you.
No, he started it. A lot of people don't know that though. If you don't listen enough, you don't know. He started it twice. That's why Drake didn't say anything.
Not really, because Kendrick started
first person shooter is actually shots in there for him.
No. But you're counting that as a start because the start
before that.
The start counted 10 years ago when Kendrick went on Jay Electronica's fucking song and shouted everybody.
Yep.
Went at everybody.
That's control.
Yeah, control. That was a start.
Yes.
But then it's just been like tit tat shit until up to now.
But they've been friends. They were friends that whole time. So
no, because Drake said he saw him after that song came out, and
he was confused. Like, what's up?
He was confused at why Kendrick came up to him and was showing love. It's like, bro, you just came at me on a.
And he said it was for everybody. So that's what they said.
If you want to go back to the start, that's the initial start. Because that happened, I think, after he took him on tour, like I think a year before that.
Yeah, because he was on the record with him.
Yeah.
And now the thing that happened after that, though, they were cool.
Mm-hmm.
Drake sent a few shots, and just like Two Birds with One Stone has like 4 shots on it with multiple people. It has a shot for Joe. Then they said he didn't respond to Joe. That's the funny thing. That's what got Joe to send the record. See, people forget that. Two Birds, One Stone has shots for Joe. Listen to the record. There's about a whole 8-bar section for Joe, and then there's another 12-bar section for Pusha. So Pusha's album, the response on Pusha's album, The Infrared, is a response to Two Birds, One Stone. Okay. He only dropped that. That's what I'm saying. Drake does this his whole career.
They do say that he does a lot of subliminal shit.
100%. And mind you, his is not really.
Is it really? But
it's not really. Is it really?
It's subliminal to us, but to niggas in the circle, it's like that.
Bro, but it's like if me and you have a little issue, right? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know about it. But I say some shit like, "Oh, that's why these dudes be doing this shit." But you
like what you mean, nigga?
Like what you know? What you talking about?
The reason why I say his not subliminal because he mentions references that fans would understand to show you that I'm talking about this dude. So that's why Joe gave him multiple records because it's like, dog, you started it. Now we here. If we here, we're
Let's
here.
Handle it.
And it's the same thing with Pusha. Pusha's like, we here now. Don't give me the I should have gave you 3 bars thing. You gave me 4. No. I'm gonna give you a full record. What are you gonna do with it now? And that's what kind of happened with Kendrick. Kendrick sent you a shot, right? And then what Drake did this time, what people don't understand is what Drake tried to do, and is what people been asking him to do. He gave me a shot. Normally, I send one shot back. We go over for years. Drake said, no, I'm not doing that this time. I'm gonna give him a record. Gave him a whole song, then gave him a second song.
What song are you talking about though?
He gave Push-Ups. Remember?
See where he
no,
Push-Ups wasn't.
Hold on,
no, to like that. I'm talking about
okay.
I'm
saying, but because
okay.
Push-Ups addressed everybody, so it wasn't a Kendrick diss.
But it was
honestly.
I would say it's tailored to Kendrick.
It's tailored to Kendrick.
But he still spread out, right? The only songs that were Drake actually addressed Kendrick specifically was Tailor-Made, right? Which people discredit. Which I think to me, it did its job, right? He wanted to get disrespectful. I think he did it. He got disrespectful, right? It didn't work out in his favor, obviously, right? And then the Heart Part 6. Because even Family Matters, which to me is one of the best disses to come out of this thing, right? He still, the first half still addresses Rick Ross and A$AP Rocky, and Metro.
No, that's the last one. The first half is Kendrick, and then the second one he goes through everybody. When he does,
I'm saying, but he's still it's not a whole diss. Yeah. It's not a whole diss. Yeah. The only one that if you really want to count is the Heart Part 6, right? Yeah. Which was mid, right? It was mid.
It was mid.
And, you know,
great song.
So all right, so let me put it to you like this. This is the thing I will say for like Drake. So like Drake sends a lot of shots and he used to hide his hand. He's known for that in the industry. They know him. That's why I said, so when Kendrick did what he did, people didn't even know first person shooter that Kendrick was supposed to be on. That's why he's talking about him sending me
a request. We got some shit to resolve.
Hey, there you go.
And, but then I could say the same thing, right? When Kendrick came at him on Control, right? And then in real life, like from what's described, but I'm saying, but that's no, because you're thinking of how you would take it, right? But if I'm a rapper and I'm like, and I'm cool with you, I looked out for you earlier in your career, right? And you come at me, and then you could like.
He didn't come at him though. He came at everybody. He said he was the king of New York. You know how many people did? Joe dissed Kendrick. Joe Budden's dissed Kendrick. But we could go to every rapper dissed Kendrick after that. But what did Kendrick do?
I wouldn't say Control was like directed at.
Yeah, it wasn't directed at.
No, but if you're mentioned, right? Here's what you're saying, right? You might not have took it that way, right? Obviously, Drake took it that way. He's like, yo, you came at me. He has an interview saying like, yo, I don't understand why he came at me. He didn't.
But that's like J. Cole saying like, that he's the best rapper and that none of these niggas in the industry can stand on him.
Here's the thing, right? When you make a general statement, that's fine, right? It's open for interpretation.
So I don't remember the controversy. Did he specifically say Drake?
No, he said his name.
He said his name, but he named a bunch of people.
He said Big Sean, Wale,
he was naming everybody.
J. Cole. He said.
That's why I say that he was.
So then I think it spreads out at that point.
Yeah, but I don't
think it spreads out, right? I mean, Big Sean had a couple bars.
No, Big Sean had a whole record. People don't know that. Saying, no more interviews is about Kendrick.
I'm saying, they all responded, right? So like, all these rappers took it personally.
Okay.
So obviously Drake just became the biggest out of the bunch,
right?
And then like it's been back and forth.
But my thing is, it's been back and forth to a degree. And when I say Drake throws stones and hides his hand, Drake drops consistently.
Too consistently.
So now Drake will send 4 shots at Kendrick, and Kendrick don't have an album. When he don't have an album, Kendrick don't do nothing. That's Drake said himself. Yeah. He don't do nothing. So if you sending shots at Kendrick and
you got to wait like 4 years.
Yeah. So now, but that's what you did. But guess what you did? Like that's my point. Guess what you did? So now like he said, keep playing with Mike Myers. You're gonna see what happens. And then he came out, and that's all I'm doing now. Think about it. He not.
But here's why I say that he shouldn't have took that diss, because I feel like regardless of where like Drake being or Kendrick being a skillful rapper, I don't think that Drake and Kendrick are on the same caliber. Like I think they're part of the top 3, but I don't think they're on the same caliber, and I don't think he should have responded to him, because I feel like regardless of the fact it's playing out the way how it's playing out right now, where he's losing no matter what. Like whether he beat Kendrick or whether he had won or lost by Kendrick, which you're seeing now on the loss side, it's no benefit to Drake.
No, see, like, all right, so let me rephrase this for you. I'll tell you this right now.
Okay.
That's why everybody who's been talking about it, like as far as the rappers, were confused when Drake started losing. Because in the beginning, think about it, even when Push-Ups came out, everybody said it's over. Like they thought Kendrick wasn't even going to respond.
Right.
But the reason why he's losing, it isn't because he didn't have a chance to win. That's actually fully false. That's why every rapper who's talked about it, that's why you see them all partying with Kendrick. Because he legitimately won. Drake took a bad angle. What he did is the AI crap was trash, because the angle he took was he's running. Think about it. He's running scared. He don't run the West Coast well. You just seen what the pop out is.
Yeah,
it's all the opposite of what you said.
What Drake?
He just said that he can't. I rock with more West Coast than you. people forget Kendrick and YG weren't cool. YG's on stage, crip walking, laughing at Drake. This is so everything you said is coming is in reverse on you. Even your people are showing up. LeBron was there.
That was I thought that was crazy.
Yeah,
especially because LeBron's name I like that or not like us, right? So that was I thought was crazy.
So I partially agree and I disagree. So I partially agree where I think the odds were stacked against Drake regardless. I think that let me
piggyback off, right? The odds were stacked against Drake by his own fault because his last 2 albums, by his own standards, right, were mid, right? Yes. Especially, Certified Lover Boy was a good album, but it kind of came and went. And then For All My Dogs was mid at best. So, he was already...
the last 2 albums, so you're considering Her Loss mid?
No, Her Loss was a good album. I'm talking about solo albums, right? Like that. I don't consider that his album. That's obviously him and 21 Savage.
Okay.
But I'm saying he was kind of in a decline musically, right? And when people forget, right? You're as good as your last project when it comes to your fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the casuals, right? So he was starting to lose like the favor, like the people's favor. So when this beef started, people were like, you know what? I'm kind of annoyed with you already.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what you got. I'm going to give you a chance. And then when he didn't deliver, because what I thought he should have done, right, is he should have came at the angle of like, oh, Kendrick, you're jealous. You're envy. You're a hater. Because, he actually, in Euphoria, right, Kendrick says, I hate the way that he should have addressed that, right? Because being a hater, right, is one of the most, like, embarrassing things. Like,
Kendrick said he's a hater. Yeah.
What? That's what I'm saying. But, like, he should have addressed, because I think this whole beef started out of jealousy.
No, I don't think so.
Go ahead.
So
So here's where I stand, right? I don't think that yes, his last 2 albums were mid, right? But I think even if he had dropped better projects, people would have been teetering more in Drake's teetering. It would have been a more even, but it still would have been towards Kendrick's favor. Like I think that people honestly wanted Drake to fill in this rap battle.
I can see that.
Here's why, right? Because I think initially, here's where I partially agree with you. I think that initially Drake went at this and took the wrong angle. Essentially, like, he was supposed to go at this and see Kendrick as a worthy contender.
There you go. That's where he
lyrically
fucked up.
Lyrically, right? Like I think he took him as a joke. He tried to give him the Meek Mill treatment, and that's not working, right? Yeah. He was supposed to go at him as like a worthy contender lyrically, and he did not do that. Secondly, I think that here's where I think that people were siding against him was because he pretty much called out every single shot that Kendrick moved, and tailor-made. And tailor-made, and no one's fucking bat an eye. Like everyone's pretty much looking at everything that Kendrick's dropped as if it's like new information. You feel me? So I think that like for me to say, okay, this is the move you're gonna make, this is the things that you're gonna say, this is what you're gonna say about me, and I'm waiting for you to make the next move to say, okay, like now what are you gonna say? And you come out and say the same things and validate my statement, and everybody just says, okay, like whoa, so, he's a pedophile.
If Drake had done that without the AI, it would have stung better.
You think so?
The AI 100%. Shit, right?
100%.
As soon as the Tupac's estate came out and asked him to take it down, that people forget tailor-made. I don't think most people they don't count it. They can't name the song because they don't hear Drake's voice.
There you go.
Right. So that's where I say like he fucked up at.
Or bad angles.
I think he did well in the disrespect part, if that was his goal, but the actual longevity of the song because he's not on it. If he said that with his voice, I think it would have gave him a little more points as far as Kendrick like just recycling the material that we knew he was gonna say.
I don't think he really did it with the intent of longevity. I think he did it to.
But that's the thing, right?
Beer, like to egg on the rap beef.
Because not like us, right? Not like us is the reason Kendrick's winning, or he really won this by a knockout, right? Before Not Like Us, this could have gone either way, right? You could have whoever you like better. You could have just rationalized it. Well, he did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when Not Like Us came out, right, which really cleared it. Like that's what like got Kendrick to win.
Mm-hmm. And
okay,
not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but just to go back before I forget for your point.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you say that he predicted, this is what everybody noticed if you paid attention. Kendrick did the same thing to him. The whole start of Euphoria, he did. Drake did Family Matters, and it sounded everything like what he said was what he said what you was gonna do in Euphoria. They both did that to each other, and they both knew each other's angles. The reason why, like I said, Drake lost is where What he didn't expect to happen was, like you just said, he didn't take him as a worthy competitor, and you look down on him. So when you talk down on him. But that's hard to do with somebody with 2 classic albums, and you can barely recite that. Like, people don't understand. Drake has hits.
You don't think Drake has classic albums?
No, listen, this is the thing. Drake has hits. You know his album.
I'm not saying hits. I'm asking you, you don't think Drake has classic albums?
I'm going to get to that.
All right.
So you could recite hits, right? So Drake has more hits. We know this. Drake has 3 times the amount of songs, right? But when you're talking about like the classic albums and what they weigh in the culture, that's why Kendrick has a leg to stand on. That's why like you see Dr. Dre at the show. Yeah, because you got to remember, Dre did the first album. You know, if you talking about Eminem, then you got to talk about Kendrick, because Good Kid, Bad City is it. Like there's no conversation. It's to the point where people talk about that as the greatest West Coast album ever. So you can't. So
bro, I couldn't name you 5 songs off of that album either.
Well, you got to think about how old it is too. But that album is you got to be a Kendrick fan.
I couldn't name you 3 songs off that album.
Nah, you can't if they played. He's got more than 3 hits off that by itself. Give
me 3. Give me 3.
Give me 3. Yo, Good Kid, Mad City, Take Care. Like they to me they equal out.
Nah.
To me.
Like, wait, hold on. Stop the record. You're telling me that Good Kid, Mad City is not comparable to Take Care?
Not to me, no. No, because
really,
it depends on what you're talking about. So like,
you think that Good Kid, Mad City is better than Take Care?
What are you talking about? What part are we talking about?
And being a classic album that each contender has.
Yes.
You think it's higher than?
I don't think Drake has an album better, like constructed better than Good Kid, Bad City.
This is crazy. This is insanity to me.
Because
bro, you could play. Bro, he has multiple albums. He has
and I think even Joe said that.
Bro, he has fucking.
No, he didn't. Go back to it. He argues Good Kid, Mad City, but he does. Remember, he says, he said they argued it. They said, is it better than Documentary as the best West Coast album? Joe said that.
No, I'm not denying that.
Probably the best West Coast album.
No, but he was like that album right there. He said you got to take that out. If we're talking classics between the two, Joe said you got to take that out. That's what he said. He said he
there's no way, bro.
Because listen, that album actually it changed a lot of things in music. Like a lot of people don't realize that. It's almost like, all right, I'll give you a prime example. Okay. So I'll give you a whole nother artist. You listen to Kid Cudi?
Yeah.
Do you listen to Kid Cudi?
No.
Now, do you know the music you listen to today or any music
is influenced by Kid Cudi?
And how many years ago was that? And Kid Cudi, does he have a classic album? You might know a record.
No, but he does a lot of work behind the scenes with a lot of artists.
But Take Care as an album, a body of work, I think is undeniable.
No,
it's a great, I think you're out of your fucking mind.
I didn't say it's not great. I never said it was bad. I just said if we're talking Good Kid, Mad City, no, I don't hold it.
Okay. What would you compare Good Kid, Mad City to as any other rapper having a worthy album?
I don't. No, it's not. It's just in general. I don't. It's almost like saying, if you ask me that, I'll give you one that you now say. Now you tell me, what do you compare to the Blueprint?
You know what? I just want to add this on, right? Like
to me, what do you compare to It's Dark and Hell is Hot? You
don't Get Rich or Die Trying. Get Rich or Die Trying. To me. Who's
that one?
First album.
See, now that's All right, here's the thing, right?
We're trickling into the Tupac and Biggie albums.
So here's what I'll say, right? Just the best West Coast album to me, right, is Victory Lap. To me. I think that's one of the most underrated.
It is. It's a great album.
That album is amazing.
It's a great album. But Good Kid, Mad City is better.
No, I'm saying, that's fine.
I get your
that's Victory Lap to
Victory
me.
That's one of my with me playing.
That's almost that's a perfect album.
Yeah.
That's almost like
I drive around with that.
You might skip twice, and that's like I'm being generous. If you're being an extra hater that day, you might use the skip button twice.
Bro,
Victory Lap in the West. That's Nipsey's album.
Go. Yeah.
Okay, that album to me is like at least top 3 in the West.
So you got to understand, for you to even talk about Drake's music, especially to me, because like I said, I'm talking lyricism. I'm talking about somebody who constructs their own records.
Okay.
He does half his album as R&B. He said it himself. If you go back through his records,
he said, rapper turned singer.
Yeah, but
that's one of his things.
But he got that from because he started with Trey Songz, and Trey Songz was rapper turned singer. He was singer. He was rapper turned singer, and he took that slogan.
Yeah.
But anyway, but what it is he his albums are 60 to 70% singing. That's what Four to My Dogs was. And then remember when Joe got at him about it, he made a whole Instagram post and then he added the extra rap records.
I wouldn't say.
He added a whole EP of rap records.
I didn't know that was the reason why.
Yeah, no, he did.
I know he did it, but I didn't know that was the reason why.
So here's what I think. So CLB is not 60% singing, right? I'm just saying, for all of my dogs, that's a true statement. That's undeniable.
But a lot of his albums
that's too much. No, not a lot.
Culture?
Not a lot. No.
All right.
I would say maybe 40-60. I think it's 40 singing, 60 rapping. Because here's the thing, right? He mixes up a lot of rapping with singing. So you can't, it's hard to say this is a song.
What would you say Drake's best album is then? Are you even a Drake fan? Like, do you even like Drake's music?
To an extent, not all of it. Because
I see where this conversation. I see where we're going wrong with this conversation.
No, because that's what I'm saying. This is the difference. When you compare Drake to rappers, and Drake is a multi-genre musician.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's an instrument himself. That's what I'm saying. He's one of the greatest of all time because he's an instrument in himself. But you can't come to me and say, yo, he has the best rap album and Controller's on it. Controller's not a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're talking, so that's what I'm trying to say. He does that often on his records. He'll give you 5 of those on an album. And he said to himself, like, I got to touch all masses. He said that when people asked him before why he didn't rap more.
But why does that go against him and not for him?
No. It does. As an artist, it goes for him. But like, just like when you hear KRS-One talk about it, you can't give me a rapper and then say, yo, who's the better lyricist? And then say Drake is, and his album is 50%
but here's my, he's not right. Here's my problem with this, right?
I have to strongly disagree.
The Jumbotron record, who wrote it?
Hold on.
Yachty.
Because Jadakiss actually had the same issue with 50 Cent when they were beefing back in the day.
No, but 50 writes
No, I know, he does, right? But remember that one bar where Jadakiss said, you go to a 50 Cent rap concert, he come out singing.
Yeah, but that's not the same. Like 50 harmonizes on a hook, and then everything else is rap.
But I'm just saying, right? That's a gray area to me, right? I think. But let me ask you this, right? A lot of people say that Drake isn't a rapper; he's a pop star.
He's true.
What do you consider Drake to be a rapper?
Both. He is, but
that's a yes or no.
It is both. You know why? Because all right, so like anybody who makes
music, because some people say Drake isn't a rapper at all.
Anybody who makes music, I've sat in a label room where I'm in there with Universal where they'll tell you a pop star. What's the definition of that? A lot of people don't know. It's literally pop is popular music. So that means you are the most popular. That means that's all that genre is. It's a mixture of all these different people.
Okay.
He's a pop artist because, bro, like I said, he takes the African vibes. He takes the reggae vibes. He does everything. Yeah. So my thing to you is he's an instrument in himself. It doesn't take it actually builds to his greatness. But you can't use that against a rapper and say he's the better rapper.
Okay. I'm not saying he's a better rapper. He's a better artist. I never said that he was a better rapper. He's a better artist.
Hold on. Let's just focus on this real quick. Right?
No, let me finish. So you can't do that either because what'll happen is if we're doing that, I could say, all right, so Biggie's the better rapper, but I could say a multifaceted artist like even if I said, oh, Drake's just a better artist. Well, Biggie's not an artist, he's a lyricist. So you can't stop putting him in you know what I'm saying? It's not the same. So somebody who, that's what I'm saying. So somebody who plays 5 sports, you can't tell me, yo, he's the better athlete because he plays 5 sports, but Jordan played basketball. So I could say that he's a better athlete because he played 5 sports. No.
No, he's a better athlete because he played 5 sports and he's good at the 5 sports.
But that doesn't make him a better because Jordan might be the greatest of all time at his.
But that doesn't matter. So Jordan limited himself to basketball.
No, see there, now you're messing up. That's not limiting himself. He actually is the greatest at what he chooses to do. If you just because you spread it out doesn't make you the best.
Then you have to be more specific, right? Because you say, all right, you could say Drake is the best artist ever.
Yeah, I saw that. That's fine.
But you can't say he's all right. Maybe I understand.
You get what I'm saying? Like you can't compare.
But I say, all right, would you say is Travis Scott a rapper or a pop artist?
So see, I was going to talk about that when we got.
Here's my issue, right? A lot of people say that Drake isn't a rapper, which is fine, right? Yep. If that's the angle you want to take at it, but once you say Drake is not a rapper, you have to disqualify like 40% of the hip hop right now, right? Lil Uzi Vert, Travis Scott, Don Toliver, right? Even the Migos.
So now listen, this is what's so funny about all of that you just said. No, the Migos, that's false. But I'll tell you, and I'll explain to you why, because a lot of people don't know what the Migos actually do. And they're incredible.
No, I'm just saying, but at one point, right, what the Migos, like when they were like first started, right, you could almost say that's not rap. But I'm saying, but that was a case.
It's their sound, but they're rapping. But
here's my thing, right? A lot of people like they want to disqualify Drake as a rapper, right? Which I think he is a rapper, right? Because if he's when people think pop artist, right, they're thinking of fucking like Backstreet Boys or some shit. Right. That's what comes to. No, I'm saying that's what comes to mind. Justin Timberlake, for example, right? When people think of that, right, they're saying like Drake's not a rapper at all. I'm gonna say, yo, these people can't do what Drake does as far as rap.
Some people can't.
Name one person that can.
So let me ask you a question, because you must be a big Drake fan.
No, I'm a Drake fan. I'm
let me ask you a question.
I'm gonna stand on it.
Yeah, but so who is the greatest rapper ever? You believe Drake is the greatest rapper ever?
Greatest rapper
ever? See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So when
we're giving it like very niche descriptions and titles.
He said rap wise. He said who can do what he can. And I said that's why I said there's a few that can. If you're talking about rap wise, that's what I'm saying. We're just talking about rap. Before I answer that question, I'm gonna answer it for you, right? Yep. Before I answer that question, am I tailoring it to my preference of rapper, or am I tailoring it to overarching greatest rapper? Overarching, like period.
I would say Jay-Z, but that's not my preference though.
But no. So now I understand that. So now that's my point to you. That's why you heard me. That's why when we mentioned albums, when you said what can I compare to Good Kid, Mad City, what do I compare to the Blueprint? Nobody still answered me, because what happens is when it's a classic album, you really don't compare it because it holds its own weight to anywhere.
But here's the thing, right? Blueprint,
you know
the Blueprint is right. Is like the best, one of the best rap albums ever, right? But that's like the consensus in a sense, right? That's like the popular thing. But to me, here's the thing, right? To me, the best rap album ever is Get Rich or Die Trying.
No, that's fine.
I'm saying, like, but I might say that and someone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, because it is.
But here's the thing. But
eras of music.
But
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that when we talk about best rapper or best album, when I think about best album, I'm thinking about like, okay, there's very strict parameters, right? So I'm not gonna compare an album of today to an album of like yesteryears. You feel me? Like it's gonna be an album within like this generation or this era of music. So in comparison to this era of music, Kendrick doesn't have an album that touches Drake's albums.
That's false,
bro. That touches Drake's albums.
All right, put it like this.
Bro, I would say,
listen. His last two albums was mid. The ones before that, he had a couple shaky, and there's a lot of EPs in between. So let's be real. This is what it is. Damn is a classic album. Period. And Damn is crazy.
Damn is on the fence about being a classic album.
Even if it's if we did a Source 5 mics, you say 4.5. So, but when's the last time you heard 4.5? I would say 3.5. Think about it. You just talked about it in the last couple years.
3.5.
More life. Like to me,
More Life. He said it's an album. He said himself it's a playlist where he combined a bunch of records. Remember he said that. More Life. No, it's not. If you look even under his albums, he said it.
Are we thinking about the same More Life?
Yeah, it's a playlist. Remember where his father?
The one with Passion Fruit on it?
Yeah, it's a.
He said it's a playlist.
Yeah, remember that's the first ever.
I don't give a fuck what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't give a fuck what he says, but it's an album.
How many records are on More Life?
More Life, probably. I think it's 18.
More than that.
I think it's like 23.
Yeah, because it was a playlist. He said it. He said that's the first time. Remember, he's had the Apple deal. That's where him and Kanye was all going at it. He dropped a playlist. He's the first person to do that.
You asked me, right?
No, I get what you're saying, but
More Life to me is amazing.
But
bro,
that's fine.
Bro, I don't think. All right, so here's where I stand. Good Kid, Mad City. I don't think it compares to fucking. You Got Nothing Was the Same. It doesn't touch that. I don't think it. It doesn't compare.
You're biased. It doesn't compare. You're a Drake fan, and the thing is,
you're not a. But no, you're saying, but he's biased, but you're unbiased.
No, I'm not, because I told you guys from the beginning what I say about Kendrick. I said I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan. I said because his artistic vision takes him left, and his biggest albums with some of his awards, like The Pimp a Butterfly. Do I think artistically and lyrically was he amazing with what he was doing? Because a lot of people don't know what he was doing. How he was taking old black jazz records and he made sure that's what the whole album was. He actually flipped all of them. That's what the point of it was. Why he got an NAACP award.
All right. So if I had to ask you to pick a side, what side are you more leaning towards?
What, with the battle?
No, between Kendrick.
No, not the battle.
I
would ask him the question. I would ask him the question as far as like who do you listen for regularly?
Listen to more. It's funny. I listen to Drake more.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's not me personally. That's what I said, because like I'm into lyricism, but also you got to understand part of what Drake does, because I know, like, if you record music and you hear, reason why all these rappers always talk about Drake having records made for him, you can tell when a record's not Drake's record. I personally know somebody that Drake bought a record from. Like, I personally have a friend in Detroit where his man, like, a record he had out, Drake went and took the record and it's on an album. So
what song is it?
He does. I forgot the name of it. Actually, I can get it right now. Okay. But he actually does that, and it's not. I'm saying there's a lot of artists who do that, but there's not many top rap art. You're not gonna catch a Jay doing it. You're not gonna catch 50 doing it. 50 is the first person that'd be like, no, like we're not doing that. But that's what I'm saying. So when you talk of lyricism and you put him in the same bracket, his album is a compilation album. His album is a SZA album. She does the same thing, and she's amazing. She makes great music, yes, but you cannot compare that to somebody who went in there and actually did what they did all the way through. Like the part of the documentary that used to get hated on for the game was the fact that they said those are 50 Cent leftovers. He had 4 records with 50 doing hooks on them. And that's what they took from, and that's just 50 doing the hook. And 50 didn't write it for Game. He just wrote the hook. But you're okay with Drake having 5 to 6 records on an album constructed and written for him. And he just, all he did is put his voice over it.
To be honest with you, to be quite honest with you, since the whole
Quentin Miller thing?
Yeah, since the whole Quentin Miller thing, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I feel like at this point,
that's where I say, when you say rapper, now he's out that genre. Because
why do you think that disqualifies?
That fucked them up.
But I'm not gonna say he's not a rapper, but I'm just saying, like, when you name in your top rappers, like lyricism, lyricism is a big part of being a rapper. If you're not writing your own lyrics, and not just that, you're not even constructing some of your own records. Some of your hits are being constructed for you. You are a pop star. That's what they do.
But you think with his actual like rapping songs that he's not writing those?
There's been records. They already have references.
No, not the pop songs. The actual rap songs.
The Quentin Miller songs. What album were they on? People forget that. That's probably one of his best albums, low key. And it was
Views.
No,
he had some references,
but it's not views though. The references that came out weren't views.
What album was that?
No, they were
spread. The one with the handwriting on the front.
Nothing was the same.
Oh, nothing was the same. No. It was if you're reading this, it's too late.
If you're reading this, it's too late. Now think about what's on in reading this is like Legend. Like now, mind you, there's records he's going off, and now people forget that there's references to like 3 or 4 of those records. They're rap records. The references are got the.
No, when I'm talking about like a Scorpion album. I'm not talking about like if you're reading this, it's too late.
But a Scorpion album by that time, you already got it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because as soon as like that whole shit came out, right, it's hard. Because now, if you don't like the guy to begin with, right, it's easy to rationalize, he's not a good rapper because I don't know if he wrote this, right? That fucked him up, right? Obviously, you can't deny that, right? No, but like I'm thinking about even before Take Care, right? Yep. His first album or his first mixtape, October's Very One. It's assumed, right? Because now you can only assume, right? Because you don't know if he really wrote it. Like where he is rapping. Yeah. Like even like on what was it that one song with Young Money, fucking bodied it Every Girl. Like he raps on that shit.
So
or the other shit with Lil Wayne. I think it was like one of his
Up All Night.
So you want to know what a lot of rappers always said about him that stuck and resonated. Drake's favorite verses are features. Why? So you tell me right now. When Jay-Z disappears, right? Nobody ever knows.
That's a statement that I don't completely agree with either.
No, but like you just named, see how you name records, but they were back then. Nobody realizes that a lot of those.
No, but October's Very One's not a feature.
No, I know, but I'm talking about how he had most of those records.
His songs,
but he has a verse or so, and then there's Wayne or there's somebody there, and there's a reason for that they used to always talk about because he does a volume amount of music, but back then, that's why I said if you look at back then and you compare it to now, there was always somebody next to him, but as a rapper, as a lyricist, they tell you it's way easier. This is a fact to be more potent when you tell me I have to write 16 to 24 than writing a full 330. So that's the reason why nobody ever knows that. His albums, why you think you get potent Drake rapping? Because he only has to rap for 5 records.
But I think honestly that's most rappers though.
No.
Future the same thing. Like his shit don't.
Look at who you named.
But the rebuttal.
I mean, well, then we go into the definition of a rapper. Like, then
most rappers can't write more than 24.
No. A record. Listen. So a record is 40. You got 48 bars, and that's not counting.
I'm just saying. Like most rappers, right? They can't write 48 good bars.
Nah, that's wild.
No, that's not. It's not.
Wild. That's wild. That's wild.
How many can really do it?
That's wild.
How many? How many would you?
There's a ton. We can go down that shit.
Like mainstream artists.
Yeah. Like listen, Jay-Z, Big Sean, Kendrick, Drake. Because Drake could do it if
Big
he
Sean.
All right,
so knock out Jay-Z because he's an older artist. He's not rapping no more.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
We're talking about once again. We gotta segregate it.
You can't say today because Drake been out for 12, 15 years. What are we talking about? If he just
but that's not, even then at the end of that was at the end of Jay-Z's career.
No.
12, 15 years ago? No. That was winding down to Jay-Z's career.
It was.
All right, so this is what people confuse. The Throne Part 2 was supposed to be Kanye West and Drake. Drake was around and The Throne was out, which is a classic album.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about 2010, 2009.
It's like, just how I don't count Her Loss as a good album for Drake because it's a combination album. I can't count or watch The Throne because Kanye produced and
He only produced 3 records on that.
I don't know about that.
No, look at it. You can look at
it. Maybe. All right. I'm just saying I don't count that because it's a combo album. I don't count those as individual projects. I can't grade them on the same level as your own album. Watch the Throne is obviously a classic record, but you have one of the best producers on it.
I mean, if that's the case, then I wouldn't even say that Kendrick Lamar's what's the name of his album?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, I wouldn't even compare that to fucking him and Future's first album. Drake and Future's first album.
What do you mean?
And relevance and being a classic?
Listen, man. Now he a certified Drake fan. I gotta give him the laminate, man. No, because that's a wild statement. Like that.
If we're gonna compare Drake's combination albums,
all right.
If we're gonna include combination, Drake's combination,
we're dragging this. Let's just I'm just gonna ask you one more question about this whole topic, right?
Yeah.
What should Drake do moving forward after Kendrick's pop-out show?
If you asking me, he just needs to go back to doing what he was doing. Because to be honest with you, Drake can out rap him if he needed to. Drake has all the resources. It's just there. That's the thing about it. When you're at the top, you have all the resources. It's just about how you do it. But if you misstep, now that's what happens. People don't notice when you're at the top, and that's what happened to Jay. Nobody ever talks about this. Take over Ether, right?
Yeah.
What is Ether about? Name one fact that you learned from Ether.
It was all lies.
Yeah. And now if you go to Takeover, it's all jokes and lies.
Yeah.
Takeover, he tells you about the fact that Nas don't own his own record. That's why Nas on his last album said, I was listening to Takeover and I realized the beef ain't over. And he said, so I call Hov and starts laughing. Because like the stuff that he's saying, he's still getting bars from it now. He's telling you stuff. That's why his baby mother came up. Everything he was saying in Takeover is real life about and about Prodigy. Those are not lies. Those are all things that really happened to them. So how did he lose?
Popularity.
He was more popular. He sold more records than Nas. Nas' first multi-platinum album.
No, I'm talking about popularity of Ether. Like it just was a better constructed. I mean, it's not But he not like if you compare right to Not Like Us in a sense, right? Because that's what Not Like Us is again compared to Ether, right? When you can say the dumbest shit on a diss record, right? You could, right? But at the end of the day, right? If it has the replay value, which is what Ether does, right? It's just like it's a good song to listen to. That's one of my things, right? Not Like Us, right?
Yes.
Kendrick's making a lot of fucking claims on it, right? Which have not been proven yet, right? Or even like back, because like he said all that whole shit about Atlanta, right? Yeah. Not one Atlanta rapper has come out and said like, yo, Kendrick's got a point, right? But the song itself and the beat itself is like, yo, this is fun to listen to.
Bro, it's a bop, but when you listen to the words of it, it's
even Ether, right? On the first 2 seconds, right? What's the Ether start off with? Fuck Jay-Z. Yeah. It just sounds dope.
I'm about to tell you where he lost because a lot of people don't realize that Takeover's not the first diss record. Stillmatic is.
I thought it was and then like I Got Myself a Gun
that wasn't even a diss record for him. Stillmatic, Nas freestyled over the Rakim and Eric B beat, and he went through the whole Rockefeller and dissed him. And that's what made Jay-Z make Takeover. And it came because I think it's Mind Right by Bleak. He sent a shot at Nas because Nas sent a shot at him on Nostradamus, the album before. So then Jay only got involved when Nas went through the whole Rockefeller. Nas actually started it. A lot of people get that confused. But that's where Jay misstepped. Because when Nas did that freestyle, to this day, most people still don't know that. And a DJ will play it for you and be like, yeah, this is the start of it. But most people, since they don't know that, what it sounded like was, you just went at a legendary rapper, and it sounded like you're bullying. Nobody likes
a bully, right?
And that's what Drake did. Drake talked down to Kendrick.
Yeah,
but he's at a level where he can't.
But nobody really looked at Drake as a bully. People were waiting on. People were looking at Drake. People were looking at Kendrick as in like, are you gonna say something?
You always got to go with the narrative is getting painted, right? Kendrick painted Drake as a bully. He said it, right? Yep. So and he's got a good point, right? Most people don't like a bully, right? Mm-hmm. We're conditioned to think like, bullies, like we got to get rid of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at Drake as, because at the end of the day, right, Drake's
when did he call Drake a bully?
I think it's Euphoria.
The way he depicted him, because he's like,
he said the word. Yeah. He said the word bully or something like that. Okay. But when you get painted like that, right? The public doesn't like to view people like that, right? And there's already always been like those rumors about Drake fucking over other artists like McConan or the girlfriend, sleeping on other people's girl, right? So people are looking at him like, oh, like you're just not a good guy. Yeah. And now this guy, like who we kind of hold as like this conscious woke person, right?
Most possible contender.
He's calling you a bully. It's like, let's just go with it.
And that's what Nas did. People don't realize he slept with your baby mother said there, and Nas is like, but still can't take from like, I'm the dude. I'm Illmatic. Remember that. Like, and that's all you gotta do. That's what Kendrick did. Kendrick did the same thing. Like he said, you rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. Guess what he did? Kept rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. And because you said something to me, that's not really a diss, bro. Like, so you sound like a bully. And that's what he just manipulated it.
He flipped that. Yo, because I got what Drake was trying to do when he said you trying to rap like yo, because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, all right, you're a conscious rapper, but you don't do shit for your community, right? For all we know. This is gonna
be my next point, which is like, what happened? So people are talking about, like, so you asked the question, right? What does Drake do after this? But before to put a wedge in between there, right? Where do you think Kendrick goes from this point on? Because I feel like he comes up with this thing. Do you feel like as if this is gonna be like a yearly thing for him? And now, do you think he's gonna also do like more songs with the people in his community? Because it's like he has all these people rallying with him. And we're talking about Drake saying that you act like you want to free the slaves, but you don't really do shit. So like,
that's true? That's just Drake saying that. Because if you refute that is the fact that he even did that concert and half of them were enemies and they're on that stage. That refutes that in general, because out there that don't happen.
Right, but then they go back to their homes.
Yeah, but
they go back to their hoods. Yeah, and then the same shit continues.
No, but we don't know that. I'm sorry, we don't know that. That's the confusion.
Right.
So that's just Drake saying that, and if we choose to believe it. But from what we've seen, that's where he pop out and show niggas.
I mean, but what have we seen?
What we've seen is that they can't be in the same room. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why everybody's talking about that, because they normally cannot be in the same room. That ends it all right there. That does not happen. And for somebody who's just basically, he's a random, he just raps. That's all it is. That can get them in the same room. You can't say he can't do it. Like, I mean, you can't say he can't. So
no, I'm saying, what has he done prior to that?
Realistically,
we've seen the OVO Fest, but what has Drake done?
Bro, wait, Drake literally puts people on his. No, it's not fair. Drake literally puts people on new artists on his back and brings them into stardom, nigga.
So all right, let me get this. Let me because you should be at Drake Fest. You should know how many artists' records has he stolen and had beef with that he was supposed to sign. Because that's why The Weeknd is not an OVO artist. That's why him and Weeknd actually have beef. He stole Weeknd's record. There's a whole section of his catalog where he sounds like The Weeknd. People forget that when The Weeknd was coming out and him and The Weeknd were on records, Drake sounds like The Weeknd. But why does he not sound like The Weeknd anymore? And that's why even how Kendrick Lamar was referencing certain OVO artists, like they don't want to see you win either. And that's why you had The Weeknd get on Future's album. Like, why you think he's dissing him? Because this is the problem. Party Next Door had an issue with Drake. Drake stole his records. Remember, he was next to Drake all the time. Then it became...
Yeah, well, they're still tied though.
But they're still tied. He signed a contract. That's why. And then how Bryson just did an interview recently. Yo, I wanted to sign with OVO. Once I told him that I even was having a meeting with somewhere else, he stopped speaking to me. He was just on Breakfast Club talking about this. He's like, and he was my mentor. I was on tour with OVO. All of a sudden, it's like, if I'm not contributing, and that he has a track record of that. So that's what I'm saying. All of them have stuff about them.
To be honest with you, do I think Kendrick's really gonna do shit for his community? No. Do I think Drake's gonna do shit for his community? Exactly. At the end of the day, bro.
I was letting you get your moment to say what you gotta say. But I really truly believe that Drake actually does things with his newer artists. I think, yes, he wants to sign him to his contract, and then when, like Ice Spice, he wanted to sign her to contract. That's why he's popping up with her. They're liking it. He's following each other. But then she ended up signing with somebody else, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna do that."
I'll give you that, right? I think Drake is a better artist at putting on little artists, right? I think he's better. And
Kendrick doesn't.
No. I think that's. I mean, Mustard just came out with an interview and says, like, I've been trying to work with Kendrick for like
years.
10 years. And so that was
for years.
That didn't look the best.
So but that's the opposite though. You're talking about a guy. Drake has OVO, right? What's Kendrick's label? Because he doesn't own Top Dog. People forget that he just got off of Top Dog right now. Yeah. All these records are independent. His last album was his last album on Top Dog. That's the difference. You're asking an artist to do something that he don't do. That has nothing to do with his community. He could do it when we're talking about his community. It has nothing to do with music.
So having an artist feature on a song is
that has nothing to do with music.
You need a label for that. You need a label for that.
Listen, the feature on the song. First of all, the feature on the song, yes, you do, because you need permission. They have to clear the record. Trust me, you have to clear. You cannot personally clear a record. They'll get your record taken.
But I'm saying, you're telling me if Kendrick Lamar says, I want to make a song with Adrian Bullen, he can't make that happen?
Yes. If you're on the opposite label and you're on a rival, yes, it can happen. You will not get clearance.
I know the labels can snuff it. I know for a fact. But these artists don't have...
one voice.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Top Dog is notoriously known for this. Reason just left Top Dog literally last week. Because they do not let their artists do what they want. We have a time schedule.
But they have the grounds to, right? Because they've been proven to know when their artists are ready.
But we're talking about Kendrick Lamar is not reason though.
But here's to tie into you, right, to kind of help you out, right? I think you're right? If Kendrick wanted to help small artists, he'd be more than able to, because at the end of the day, he's the biggest art of TDE or Top Dog, right? If he wanted to, he would, right? It's just not what. Here's the thing. It's not what he likes to do. I think he likes.
He's not going to be quite frank.
So we don't. Moving forward, I think
Baby Keem.
Right, but all right, I'll give you that. Right, I'm just saying,
all their records have started off.
They're all tied to him though.
But that's who you're gonna help. You don't
but to tie to his point, right? Drake helps a lot of artists that are not tied to.
To sign.
He also tries to sign, but 21 Savage used to did a whole album with this guy. He bought him a Ferrari before he was even 21 Savage, or right when he became 21 Savage.
You can't deny that Drake helps out a lot of smaller artists. He gives them the platform. Whether it happens from there on, I think that's up to them.
I feel like that's personal gain, because like I said, every artist that I've ever heard even speak about like working with him in most cases are artists that he tried to sign and they were free agents, but they already had a buzz. Ice Spice, he didn't try to sign Ice Spice till she had a record that was in the top 10. That's a fact.
For sure.
When it went up on a Tuesday, where is he?
For sure.
Where's M.A.A.d? Where's his actual artist? It's funny. You're trying to sign Ice Spice. You got records with Ice Spice, but your actual artists are not getting that. And that's what happened. The same thing.
What do you mean? He works with his actual artists.
But he's doing it with
six artists on OVO.
He's doing it with Sexy Red right now. He's helping her.
Sexy Red was already up.
I'm saying, you could be up for a moment, right? He could take you to the next level after that.
Yes, but that's not. But also, it helped him.
No, it's a
for sure. But why would I want to help somebody that's not going to help me? Like
it's still help. It's still
not helping the community. It's not helping the community. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about artists.
No, he said helping. That's what it started from. He said
no, but the artist within his community. The artist within his community. That's what I'm talking about.
Both of them don't help their community. Both of these rappers are not helping the community. They don't give a fuck.
Let's talk about features as a rapper. I wouldn't do records with nobody either. Like Kendrick doesn't mess with the industry. We know this. He's a hermit crab. He said this. Drake said it. He don't come outside. So I'm not. He doesn't even. If I was him, I wouldn't even see Sexy Red. Think about it. When would you see Sexy Red and Kendrick Lamar on the same bill to even meet each other? Kendrick is not doing that show.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not the same. Drake is with the mess all the time. so
it's obviously mutual beneficial.
Yeah,
but I think he's better at it, helping other smaller artists, even at his own benefit, right? He just did one with 4 Bats, right? He did that once. He hopped on 4 Bats. Obviously, 4 Bats had a little buzz.
I mean, he wanted to sign 4 Bats. 4 Bats said no.
I'm saying, but either way, right? Either way, right? 4 Bats had a buzz when he came out with this first song, right? When Drake hopped on it, right? Now he became global.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's a benefit. I think he's good at helping smaller artists. But let me one more question to tie into this, right? So the Game and Snoop Dogg weren't at the Pop-Out show, which are known West Coast rappers, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about this? Do you think it was on intention?
Bro, did you see the game? Yeah, did you see the games live?
I saw the games live, right?
So pretty much, like he pretty much says like like he's not getting in the mix between them two, and he's not really trying to like he's stamped in the West Coast. But somebody did make a valid point saying that like it's fucked up for not only on the Game's behalf, but the way how Dr. Dre dealt with the Game. Like where Dr. Dre and the Game, I guess Dr. Dre picked someone else over the Game. I forgot who it was.
50.
I think it was 50, right?
It was 50.
Dr. Dre picked someone else over the Game, and he didn't want to side with him because he didn't want to get into the beef between them. But Dr. Dre ends up siding with Kendrick Lamar during this beef, and it's like it's pretty fucked up. And you could hear it in his like, what is it? That one of Drake the Game's albums that where he sound hurt in the song. Like he sounded like he was really upset in the song because Dr. Dre this is somebody that I look up to, that I want his approval, and he's not willing to give me his approval in this.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna tell you.
He's not willing to give him his. I felt the interjection.
It's an area you weren't in. That's why I gotta break it down. I'm gonna tell
you. He doesn't want to get into the he didn't want to get into the beef, and he wants Dr. Dre's approval. But however, Dr. Dre wasn't willing to give him his approval, and he was kind of yearning for it. But I think it's kind of fucked up, huh?
Super pause.
He was yearning for it.
He was yearning.
Not urinating.
Yearning for it is crazy.
I don't yearn for shit.
I don't yearn for another.
Bro, Kendrick Lamar is yearning for fucking Tupac's approval. Like,
oh nah,
yearning.
He never said
it's like begging at this point. It's like pitiful. Hold yourself together, nigga.
So to get to your point,
okay, go ahead.
Now all of that happened. Game is bipolar. We've all seen that.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people have.
He's volatile.
Yeah. So back then, this is what happened. He started dissing 50. When it blew up, he started GU Not. He started a whole brand. He started a label. He did all this. Now, mind you, 50 Cent is signed to the same man you're talking about that you're signed to, and your business partner. Your business partner is telling you to chill because we're all making money, and you're causing a problem now. And you guys don't have a physical beef. If you did, it would have been a problem already.
All right.
So if you're doing this now, we know what you're doing. You're building your brand even more, but you're doing it at the expense of all of our brand because this is Aftermath. We're all supposed to be together. That's what happened. So what happened is Dre told him to chill. He said on a mixtape, I'm going to chill, psych, and then did 2,000 bars and dissed all of them again and then dissed everybody. So now Dre said, all right, then you locked out the studio basically. So that's The Doctor's Advocate, which is his second album. And I'm a Game fan. The album was incredible still, and he was that ill that he still was able to make
That's
that album.
That's what it was, The Doctor's Advocate,
Yeah, so, but Dre didn't produce not a record on it, but what he did is he went and got all the producers and told them to make Dre-like beats. So the whole album is Dre-like beats by other producers. But, yeah, so that's where they mended their relationship years later, and he still dissed 50 on a record that Dre sent him. So Dre stopped messing with him again, because every single time I'm talking to you, you're basically putting me in the middle
of a beef I'm
one of your bosses.
Yo,
so he got moved all the way over. You know that, right? So he was on Interscope. Nobody noticed. This is when that happened. He was so bad that Jimmy Iovine had to move him to Geffen Records to get him away, because he's like, you won't stop, and you guys are both on the label. I can't promote you dissing another guy on our label. I looks like I'm paying money to start a war.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Game did that actually. So that's
do you respect the Game for, even though being a West Coast rapper, not kind of still siding with Drake in a sense, or just kind of staying neutral, even though
no, it's money.
What?
Money.
You think so?
Was it 2 albums ago? His first record was 100. Who's the feature? Drake.
Yeah.
I mean, Drake. The Game says it though. He was like, there's been times where I asked Drake for help, and he's helped me.
No, I was still surprised, because obviously the Game, like, he represents West Coast, like he goes hard for it in a sense, right? So when this whole thing started, because I know it started as like a two individual beef, but it really became like a West Coast versus Canada type beef.
It became West Coast versus Drake.
Game's an opportunist. And the reason why you could say that, and this has all been documented, if you could look back, everybody, he dissed people. He was dissing Jay-Z, and they never said a word to each other. Jay-Z's like, I never met the kid for me to even
respond.
Have an issue,
and then not just that, look at the Drake beef. Where did you come at dissing Rick Ross? Where'd that come from?
I mean, it made no sense.
His whole career, he's been an opportunist.
That made a little bit more sense though, because it's like, Drake is my friend and you're dissing my friend. Like,
they're not friends. That's the difference.
You don't think so?
No. Doing a record together. See, that's where people get confused. The industry doing a record together, they are not.
Well, so,
no. But I think Drake and the Game are actual friends.
The Game said on his live, like, that's my brother.
Yeah.
You never know.
Have you heard that?
You never know. You never know, right? But
I think they're actually friends, though.
To me, it would have made more sense, right, for the Game to lock in with Kendrick right at this moment.
Nah.
Just for the appearances wise.
The reason why it don't is because monetary wise, Kendrick's not doing records. Kendrick don't even care to rap. That's the whole reason why after his TDE deal, everybody said it. Kendrick was talking about not even rapping anymore. That's why, if you notice, the only records that are coming out right now is the disses, because he could do whatever he want, and the disses has made him millions of dollars because they're independent, and then he went and got distribution. So now he is his own boss, but Drake just did that.
Do you think Kendrick is dragging this whole beef at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
sure.
You think? Because now he's about to shoot a music video for Not Like Us, right?
Because
I'm sick of the song.
You want to know
why?
Sick of it. Wait, you want to know why? You want to know why you're sick of it?
Why?
The same reason why people hate Drake, and the reason why they get sick of him. This is a #1 record. That means you can't go nowhere without hearing it. He had this is the reason why I say he's not dragging it. He's had 2 #1 records this year. And like I just said, he hasn't rapped about nothing but Drake and Cole this year.
Yeah.
So
my point.
He's not dragging it.
Can you do a #1 record without Drake and Cole?
Come on now. Let's be real. So now, that's like saying,
would he had a #1 record if it wasn't including Drake and Cole?
So that means nobody should be showing up to Ice Spice shows, because she's only had the one #1 record. All her other records.
No, I'm talking about Kendrick specifically.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can't do that as a genre. We know how this game works. If I got a #1 record, let alone I got 2. Now we're going on tour. Now we're making. Why am I not gonna make the money?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me I'm gonna do the records and not make the money? That's part of what the business is. So if I put out the record and it goes #1, I'm not gonna say, okay, I gotta go make another record. Now, bro, I got 4 albums. Like Jay-Z said, if you like my old stuff, go listen to my old stuff. I'm about to go get the money. That's what this is about. They already said he was recording an album. I don't care about that right now. I got 2 #1s. I'm gonna go. You know how much? Think about what that show looked like.
Bro, I hear you.
See one of those?
I hear you, but I don't believe that Kendrick would have had a #1 album without Drake.
Do you think
without Drake's name being in it?
Doesn't matter.
Let me ask you this: did Kendrick dissing Drake elevate Kendrick's career?
For sure.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are saying that he didn't need this.
He did, but he didn't need it. That's where they're confused. Because all right, so now this is where people get confused too. Did Kendrick ever want to be Drake?
I think so.
You believe so?
I think so.
You hear what his so?
No. Here's the thing, right? I understand what the point you're trying to make, right? Like I said, I think a lot of this beef, right, is derived from jealousy and envy. Here's my thing.
You did say that before.
I know I heard you say it.
So, but I'll say this, right? Because I think the way Kendrick looks at himself is, right, I am the best rapper alive, right? Possibly ever, right? But for some reason, why the fuck is this guy always ahead of me? No. Let me. So
why is everybody looking at him?
Here's how I look at it, right? And why is everyone praising this guy who everyone tells me I'm better than? I think I'm better than, right? Why is he regarded as one of the best rappers and above me? Why am I in this top 3 conversation when I should be a clear number 1, right? I think he hated, and I think when he dropped Euphoria and he said, "Yo, I hate everything about you," that proved it to me.
So no, I think
Kendrick is one of these fake woke guys in a sense where it's like, yo, I don't care about none of this, right? But now that he's getting it, right? To me, the fact that he's making a music video for this, right? That he's kind of doing the pop-out show, because none of this would have happened without the beef. Let's just say that, right? Now that he's like, yo, like fuck it, I like this feeling, right? I like what like
I'm
this
in the limelight. I'm that man right now.
Yo, I like so this is what he's been experiencing. I've never felt this before on this level, right? I've been up here, right, but never on this level.
So let me break that down to you, so you could. So let me give you a different view. So then I can tell you, like, this is how artist side of it. This is how you could tell he doesn't want to be that, because Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, he could have been that. That's how big. You gotta remember, that's his first. The same way how it was Drake's first. Drake.
So I don't deny that. So I think you're right?
Hold on. Let me finish.
So now listen. So he could have had that. He could have done that. He could have, because that album was.
You're right.
Yeah. So like, but then what he did is he went artistically left, because that's what type of artist he is. So that's what I'm trying to say. So like, even now, when everybody says, "Oh yeah, he's the man now," well, being the man, you know how you make your money, you know what you do. He would be on everybody's records and he would be in the limelight. He still is not doing that. He still has not spoken.
I think that's because he's fully focused on pushing this record.
If he was fully focused on pushing this record, he would have been on tour already. You know how long this record's been out? He's chilled and did the pop-out show because he's antagonizing Drake. He really is, because it's like, you thought you could play with me, this is the difference. If you want to be him, then you would be in the limelight, because that's what he wants to be. That's the whole thing that Kendrick is talking about. Like, bro, you not comfortable with yourself to want to be with all these people all the time. But he's not the only person to say that. Even Joe Budden's on his podcast, they say, like, yo, he's always with these younger kids. He's with because he wants to be in the it. Kendrick is the opposite. Kendrick is the hermit crab. Let me finish. So now this is the difference. I'm antagonizing him because I feel like he's the opposite of what I am. But I feel like what I am should be what number 1 is.
That's my point.
So, but that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, let me finish. It's not the same. So when you tell me, that's just like saying, that's anybody in any field. If I'm the best big man in basketball, but Steph Curry gets all the, mind you, he don't play defense, he shoots the 3. He gets all the praise. I'm going to say I'm the best player in basketball, but it doesn't mean I want to be the guy who shoots the 3s and dances for the crowd. It just means that I'm the best at my craft.
But you want your notoriety.
But he already gets that. That's what I'm saying. He goes platinum on every album. And that's what's funny. He told J. Cole, like even Drake said it, to stay out the limelight. And J. Cole has done that and gone multi-platinum on every album. J. Cole's that dude without doing interviews, because he said he got that from Kendrick.
That's cap.
What you mean?
J. Cole does his rounds and interviews. He does podcasts. That's cap.
You ever seen J. Cole on Breakfast Club? You ever seen Jay? Think about it. He doesn't do podcasts are not.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe I'm out the loop, but I don't see J. Cole doing. I don't see J. Cole doing interviews.
As a recent year, he did that whole shit with Lil Pump.
But that's because that's a friend. That's not an interview.
No, I'm saying they're not fucking friends. I'm just saying J. Cole has been way more here. J. Cole. Here's the thing, right? They're getting a taste of what the fuck Drake's been having, and they're liking it. J. Cole's been way more active on social media. He's been way more active on these interviews. How long?
He's been in the game over 10 years.
I'm saying, I'm not. So here's the thing, right? I agree with you with the Good Kid, M.A.A.d City. Kendrick could have done it, right? I think he didn't do it. A part of him regrets it. And now that his last project wasn't as praised as the previous one, right? He kind of was like, okay, what the fuck? I'm not used to this.
That's cap, because he's had it too many times. He's done Good Kid, Mad City, but then after that he went and did the
Yo,
same
he's
thing
never.
with
Yo,
Damn.
Kendrick.
He did Damn.
Kendrick.
Damn was a bigger record.
Okay.
For ourselves and such. Damn, he got a song with Rihanna.
But yo, he's never been.
He's never made his rounds. He got a song with
He's
Rihanna.
never been regarded as high as he is right now. He's never been this high.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been close to this shit.
Ever
been close to it.
The whole funny thing about that is, who cares? That's not something that. What I'm saying is, when he did the record, the intent wasn't that. What was the intent of the record? To beat Drake.
No, I think, to be honest with you, I think that I think this was strategically placed because he knew that Drake's biggest push, or the reason why people sided with Drake and they think that Drake was going to win is because Kendrick isn't good at making like mainstream music.
I know, but
and
you're
hits,
making my point.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
Kendrick isn't good at that. So to counteract that, Kendrick then came up with this one to make a mainstream song to make a hit. So he made a hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's now, I think he is milking it because he made his biggest hit. He made one of his biggest hits, if not his biggest.
This is his biggest hit. This is Kendrick's biggest hit.
And I think you can't even deny the numbers. I think he's thoroughly enjoying the feeling that he's feeling right now. He's got the backing of the West Coast. He got the approval of everybody else outside of the West Coast.
I understand, bro. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to shit on Kendrick for enjoying this. Mm-hmm. I understand it. What I'm saying is I just hate that people act like he's above this feeling, right? This is human nature, right? Kendrick did something which is one of the most successful, not the most, right? One of the most successful things.
The most successful thing he's done.
This is my point about it. This is where I think the problem lies in that statement, though. Again, it becomes it becomes the Drake fandom. The reason why I say that is because you still are equating it to being about him. The only thing that's about him is the only thing that's about him is the fact that if I feel I'm the better rapper, my job isn't to be okay. I gotta stay in the hermit crab mode and still beat you. I gotta beat you in what I do. No, my job is to defeat you. So once I defeat you, the feeling of me defeating you is a victory lap on your head. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Nas did it with Ether. He still can perform Ether now, and Nas didn't used to do that. He did conscious records. But everybody knows Ether was his biggest commercial record at that time. It's the same thing. It's not like you could say that wasn't the plan. The plan was to beat Drake. The record took off so big.
But you're saying that
we're in agreement. I agree. I'm just saying. I just think he's never had this feeling.
But for you to say that he's still doing it has nothing to do with Drake. It has everything to do with Drake. You did say that. You did say that.
I just said this. But what did I say after that though? I said I said you guys are. I didn't say it has nothing to do with Drake. I said you guys are making it seem like it's all about Drake.
It is all about Drake. The song is about Drake. The reason why he's getting his fan the popping out like this is because of Drake.
No, it's not.
The reason why he's going on tour is because of Drake.
Wait, hold on. So if it was
he's pushing it this hard because of Drake.
So like I'll give it to you better. I'll give it to you better. So was it that feeling with Euphoria?
No, we weren't there yet. We weren't there yet.
Now that's what I'm trying to say. Now we weren't there yet. It's an excuse every time on why. No, what he did is it's not about Drake. It's about the fact that Kendrick kicked Drake's head in. That's period. I've heard 5 excuses
hold on. I'm confused.
The record is good.
Hey, explain that.
It's a good record because it's a good record.
Dive into that. Dive into that.
Nothing crazy.
Dive into that a little bit more.
Excuses, but then that wasn't push-ups and nothing crazy.
Because it wasn't as good as the song.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's my point to it. The case in close. The case close point is Kendrick made a great record take off. Yeah. But then what I'm saying is, all I'm hearing is, but if it wasn't for Drake, he made the record. Drake wasn't in the studio. It was a diss towards Drake. But Drake's name is on it, but it's because they started a beef and it got to what point? Why isn't Drake's record number one? So then it's not an excuse.
It's not as good of a song.
But that's my point. But that's what I'm saying. That's my point. I
think this went left and
I'm confused as to where.
Yeah, because I think you're arguing a point that nobody made.
No, because after you said that, what he said was this is all because of Drake. That's what I said. That's
what I said. It's all because of Drake.
But it's not all because of Drake, because Drake didn't make the record, like you just said.
No, Drake wasn't. Drake didn't write the songs, and Drake didn't rap the lyrics. But Drake is the influence in why this is where it's at right now.
So with Kendrick being the influence on Drake's pen, why isn't his record better?
He
already makes those.
What I'm saying, but you're not hearing what I'm saying though. What I'm saying though is that you're saying that this is Kendrick being himself, and
I didn't say that.
The original conversation. Yeah, you did. You said this is Kendrick. This has nothing to do with Drake, or this isn't fueled because of Drake. This is Kendrick being Kendrick.
I'm not saying he's not trying to fuel because of Drake. What I'm saying to you is you can't put his success. That's what I'm saying. You're putting his success on Drake. Kendrick had to make the record. That's what I'm saying. There's plenty of raps that we have. There's plenty of people who beefed with Drake that didn't make the record. Meek flopped at trying to make the record. So that's what I'm saying. You have to give credit to the guy who made the record.
No, the original conversation is Kendrick.
But if you're saying that's basically what you're saying.
The original conversation was is Kendrick milking this, right? Kendrick is milking this because one.
And I agreed to that. Remember, I said that's what you do when you get a number.
You said no. You said no.
Wait, I said when you get number one record, I said he got 2 number ones. Don't you go on tour?
No, you definitely said no. Replay this. Ben, replay this, bro.
So I'm gonna say this again. What did I say? I said he has 2 number 1 records. I said we know how the game is played. This is my exact words. We know how the game is played. Don't you go on tour? I said, mind you, I said this whole year. This is my exact words. This whole year, he's only rapped about Drake and J. Cole. Yeah. And I said he has 2 number 1 records.
Right.
You know, and because you guys said he's milking it. I said this is how the game is played.
You did say
he's gonna go on. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, but like you said,
but I don't think nobody's. I'm just saying he's milking it because this is one of the biggest things that's ever happened to him. I'm not denying what you're saying. I think he's getting a whiff of that feeling, and I think he likes it more than he would have. That's all. I think
not even more than he would have, more than he wants everybody else to believe that he is.
Yeah, I mean, you see,
he hasn't said a word, so I don't get where that comes from.
But in his persona,
it's shooting the music video for this to me shows it.
It's the number 1 record.
It is, right? It's a bunch of number 1 records that don't get music videos. That doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I think
we're gonna have to agree to disagree. We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
It's perfectly fine.
It's
for
okay.
him to own it. Like I'm not.
No, I'm not against that. What I'm saying to you is all these things this is my thing.
Okay.
It's excuses because all these things that he's doing are normal. It's not like.
But hold on. Excuses for what though? Excuses for what though?
Let me finish what I'm saying. Every time I start talking, you both jump in and say like you both just did that. So now listen.
When you start talking nonsense, we gotta interrupt. Go ahead.
It's not nonsense. It's excuses.
Let me speak his point.
So let me ask you a question. If Drake had no one record right now and he shot a music video, are you gonna say, yo, he's milking that record?
Yes.
Did he make a music video for a back-to-back?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. No, he didn't. I would think it's
my point exactly.
Yeah, I'm saying.
But that's not a number 1 record.
That was a number 1 record at the time.
What?
That one hip hop record.
No, that was a number. No, back to back at that time was a number 1.
No, I'm talking about when it was the thing. The beef was already over. They had already talked. Like the beef was already over.
No, but I'm just saying, right? He could have justifiably done it. I still would have thought he's.
Did he make a concert for that?
No. And that's what I was about to say when I said after I said that. Well, that's the normal thing. That's what I was about to say that when you cut me off. The pop out concert is the one thing that I'll say is not normal.
And the music video. The
music video is definitely normal for.
It's not for a diss record.
Not for a Kendrick diss record.
See, now that's the thing. See, now this is where I differ with the diss record situation because it's a diss record, yes. But as you said, that's a bop.
Yeah, it is a bop.
And it went to so much of a different level. And at the position he's in as a newly independent artist, I would be doing everything he's doing right now.
And no one is saying that that he shouldn't be.
But my thing is, to me, that's normal because to me, see, this is what I'm.
But as you as an artist, hold on. But you as an artist, right?
That's what
you would be milking the opportunity. But this is an opportunity for you to milk. And nobody's saying that he's wrong for doing it.
And I just said the same thing. I said if it was me.
So we're arguing on the same points here.
All I said to me was I don't consider it milking because I just said to you before. I just said normal.
Milking, using it to get ahead, whatever you want to call it. It's
you created. That's what I'm trying to say. When you're milking something as an opportunity slid to you, he created all of this.
Yeah, but he's still seizing the opportunity. He's seizing the beef.
You're not liking it, but you're still agreeing with him.
I just said I don't agree with the milking part. I don't think it's milking.
He's milking it. Right? You just said it, right? Doing a whole concert based off the diss, right? Milking it, right? Doing a music video for a diss record is unheard of it, so he's milking it, right? Now here's the thing, right? I understand the milking of it. Right? I just don't want to deny that he's milking it.
That's it. That's the only argument. The only argument is that he is milking it, but like
I disagree.
It's okay that he's milking it.
I disagree because, like I said, with all of this being said and done, and him, like that's what I'm saying. He created it, so this is me as an artist just talking in general. This is normal practice when you have because of the level of the record. That's what I'm saying. If he did a video for other records where it was like personal shots and stuff like that, then I would be like, wait, now this seems like. Because this is all brand. Because now you're attacking his character to a different degree with what you're doing. Because like you're showing images and shit. But when you're talking about a top record, that's what I'm saying. My point to you was like you said it's a bop. It literally is a number 1 record. Like even though it's a diss, it is literally it like fits in the mold of 100.
Yeah, but you're calling someone a pedophile on it though. So that would contradict your point you just made 2 seconds ago.
And not only that, but think about it.
But I'm talking about the video. When I said that, I was talking about the video, like showing imagery. Like if he did one of the other songs, and like when he's talking about his son, you're showing imagery. Now that's a little different. People would take that.
But the lyrics in the song is
that's
degrading.
Right.
Like,
we'll agree to disagree. Let's get into the streamer topic before we.
So for those of you that don't know, recently, so there's a popular streamer that has been kind of ousted over the weekend, right? So kind of the streaming and gaming community has been in an uproar because Dr. Disrespect, some new information has developed about him. So back in 2020, he was he was banned off of Twitch, which is his main streaming platform, and nobody knew why, right? So 4 years later, here we are, ex-employee from Twitch makes a tweet saying that the reason why Dr. Disrespect was banned off of Twitch was because he was having inappropriate conversations with a minor, right? So I'm gonna read you the tweet. And here's what he says. He said he got banned because he was caught sexting a minor and in the existing Twitch Whispers product. So apparently Twitch Whispers is something where like on Twitch you can message another person directly, right? So apparently in that product he was messaging somebody. He was messaging somebody that was a minor. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon, and the powers that could be read the text in plain and read the context in plain text, right? So what has come about now? You have people now picking sides between Dr. Disrespect.
How could you pick his side?
Hear me out, right?
Okay.
So now people are picking sides between Dr. Disrespect and I guess the people that are against Dr. Disrespect. So some people are seeing it as you guys are seeing it, whereas most people are seeing it, right?
Most logical, rational people, yeah.
Right. Most people are seeing it as, okay, he's talking to a minor. It is completely disrespectful, or not disrespectful. It's completely inappropriate. This is something
illegal.
This is something that should not happen, right? During this time, throughout the years, Dr. Disrespect has made bold claims saying that he's going to sue Twitch. He's going to he's fighting back against them. He's been bashing Twitch. And nobody knew why. Nobody knew the reason was behind it, right? So you have all of these streamers now coming out and saying, or big streamers are now pretty much voicing their voice against him as a person, that you should not be, as you said, you're texting a minor and this is inappropriate and, this is wrong and whatever the case is. Dr. Disrespect then made a tweet saying that he had a conversation with Twitch and the police were involved in this situation and there was no wrongdoing found. Right, that there was no wrongdoing between them. So he then went on to say that that there were a civil case against him, not a criminal case against him. So when there was,
pull the Cassie.
I was going right back. I was going right back there, right? He then went and said that there was a civil case against him and not a criminal case against him, because if there was any wrongdoing found, then there would have been a criminal case against him, right? So I'm gonna read you the post, right? Somebody then said, after explaining it, he then asked the minor about her plans at the TwitchCon convention, right? So this is the only quote that they have directly from the person, is that he asked the minor what her plans are at the TwitchCon convention.
So Dr. Disrespect, right?
Yeah.
The only thing they have proof of him right now is asking what a minor is going to be doing at the same event he's going to be attending.
Yes and no, right? Yes and no. So yes, because this is the only information that they're getting from the person directly, apparently.
Okay.
Secondly, is that no, is because apparently they're saying that there was some sexting going on, like actual inappropriate messages that was exchanged between the both of them.
Open close case right there. What's
this is what I find all interesting about it is, if that's a case, then that's a criminal case. If it's a criminal case, then it's an open shut case. So there's something wrong with the picture in the first place. Because if anybody had proof of that, as soon as you hand that over,
the cops are on it. Yeah.
It's gonna come out, because even if they didn't arrest him, if he's fighting it, the cops, they would have put it out.
It'd be open. It'd be public record.
And they're gonna use that public record because that team's family, that minor's family, is gonna get a check off that public record. Just to go in public like that. Yeah. It's gonna be detrimental to him, to where, so for that to not come out this whole time sounds like it was an allegation made and probably a lawsuit, but there's no actual proof.
No actual
proof.
point.
There's no actual proof of nothing. So that's what it really is. That's what it seems like.
Oh, but wait, there is proof, right?
Oh, you're just waiting.
Wait, there's more.
Well, wait, there's more, right? So Dr. Disrespect, during this time, like I said, he's made multiple statements against Twitch, right?
Yeah.
And he's been a pretty big mouth about his, I guess, Twitch rubbing him the wrong way. So
okay. Which Twitch seems to do with a lot of big streamers, right? Like as soon as you get big enough at streaming on Twitch, it seems like they always have some type of issue. I mean, it happened with Kai Cenat too, right?
Kai Cenat as well. Actually, a lot of streamers. Aiden also. Yep, a lot of streamers tend to have like an issue with Twitch as soon as
when you get bigger than the company, I think that's when they kind of start bumping heads.
Yeah. Right. So, all of this media has come out, or the ex-employee made the tweet, right? So now everybody's speculating what has happened. Obviously going based off of what the employee is saying and picking a side based off of that, right? So Dr. Disrespect then came out and said this, right? So this is pretty lengthy. So he said, "Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, I have no filter. I've always been upfront and real with you guys on everything, and that I can be upfront about. I am willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now." So then during this time, I'm gonna skip a couple paragraphs in it, but during this time, he's addressing his company, he's addressing the people around him. He's pretty much, just apologizing for
his behavior.
I guess his behavior and everything that's come out, and kind of and also addressing like the decisions that were made in his company, which I'll get into in a little bit, right? So then he said, were there Twitch whispers messages with an individual back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were the real intentions behind the messages and were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. So he's confirming that there was messages between him and this person, but he says were there real intentions behind the messages?
What do you mean by real intentions? Like he's fake sexting?
Hold on, we're getting there.
It sounds like that he was being, like being in character when he shouldn't be with a kid. That's what it seems like.
These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I've never met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have been brought against me.
Yeah. Right? All right. So, are you done?
No. No, you could interject. Go ahead.
Here's my thing, right? All right. Okay. So maybe he didn't do something fully illegal, but he did something fucking weird that everyone knows at this point. Don't fucking do. If you're an adult, right? Stop talking to younger people, right? There's no benefit to you, right? Unless it's a literal business move where like maybe that younger person is a streamer on the come up, they're famous on some type of level, right? And then there's a possible business opportunity for you and them. Don't fucking do it, man. It's not worth it. Yo, it never works out in your favor. It's never gonna look good to the public eye. I
agree.
So I'm gonna pin that right there, right? Because
the reason why I say that is
okay.
Sorry, not to cut.
No, go ahead.
This is what I will say. The reason why that right there is a non-starter in general is because you work in a field. He's a streamer. You work in a field predominantly children. So if you don't know that much already, there's no telling of what else you've done or be willing to do because you already
compromise yourself.
So you already got to get. That's like if I heard that about a teacher, they should never teach again.
Absolutely.
Period.
Even if they do, even what they did initially isn't illegal, you don't know what it's building up to, right? Because he got caught before it got there.
Exactly.
Right. And then, and maybe it would have never amounted to nothing. But who wants to take a chance with their own kids?
Exactly.
I wouldn't.
Exactly. So pin that, right? Pin that and pin the
double pin.
Pin both of those statements, right? All right. So he says, now from a moral standpoint, I've absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. Whew. It should have never happened. I get it. Here. I am not perfect, and I fucking own my shit. It was stupid, right? And now later down, he then says, finally, if you're uncomfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, then that's fine. But I'm not going fucking anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made the mistake those years ago, and I'm taking an extended vacation with my family, as I mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off of my shoulders. So during his stream, right, a little bit before this statement came out, during his stream, he was actually playing a stream, and I guess he got the notification that he like I said, he's a pretty big streamer, so he does own a company that also created a video game. And during that stream, I guess he got news that his company is parting ways with him, right? Yeah,
what a way to find out.
And it's clear as day during that it was found out like during that stream because his emotions and everything pretty much just like changed towards it. And his co-founder then came out and said, you know, that the evidence is there, pretty much as clear as day, and you were talking to a minor, and I can't be associated with anybody that has anything to do with that. So the reason why I asked you guys to pin that, right, is because you made a point saying that unless it's for a specific reason, there's no reason why you should be communicating with a minor, right? So people have gave Kai Cenat shit about this conversation or during this situation because he went on stream and he was devastated because of this, right? Because like I told you, this guy is a pretty influential guy in the streaming community, and a lot of kids like watched him growing up, and he's like secured brand deals. He has his company. He has all of these. He has all of these ties. So Kai Cenat unfollowed him on I think on Twitter or whatever it was, and somebody in the comment section commented at Kai Cenat saying, "Yeah, but this is the same guy that made a video that spent hours with a 12-year-old girl."
It's completely different.
So that was Kai Cenat's point. Kai Cenat was like, at the end of the day, like this is like if you guys are the reason why there's an issue with that the internet is like this. You know, it's people that think like you. It's people that have this image that an adult can't work. Essentially, an adult can't work with a kid and with, I guess, non-malicious intent. You know, like for what reason would you compare the two? Essentially,
yeah, because at the end of the day, right? Kim Kardashian was there.
Right.
With Northwest, right? Like it wasn't like Kai Cenat and Northwest were chilling like unsupervised. It was there. It was like a whole fucking birthday party or something like that. There was plenty of witnesses if anything were to happen, right? This guy is messaging a minor one-on-one. From what we can tell, right? There's no other supervision. No one's monitoring this, right? It's weird behavior, bro. It's just what it is, right? Even if there's like if there was, say there's like a younger podcaster that like we see potential in and we could work, right? I would message that podcaster and like, but I'm like, hey, like let's get your parents involved. You know what I mean? Let's get whoever.
It's just a sense of professionalism. Like if you're not, but he wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't even a business move. It was just probably him being in character and him being extra and speaking out of turn and behind. You know what I mean? Basically behind closed doors to a minor. And that right there, if you can't, like I said, if you can't differentiate as an adult, then you don't need to be in a position with minors to be any. Like that's where I think society is a little off. Is that we got people who are influential that don't even know how to hold their own standards. Yeah. They don't have no discipline. So you shouldn't be influencing anybody that's, you know what I mean?
So now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So now it begs the question, right? So there have been plenty of discussions come up because the age in question isn't confirmed, but people are speculating that this girl was pretty close to 18. That she was 17. Hold on. Before you get there,
there's no such thing as close to 18.
Before you get there, save it for the end. Save it for after, right? So people have been speculating that she was pretty close to 18, right? Okay. So I'm gonna read two more things, and then I want to hear what you guys have said, right? Or what you guys have to say about it. So one person said, there are real pedos out there. People that touch kids, not text a 17-year-old, but kids. The same people that tell you to wear a mask, wake up dummy, right? So this is actually a pretty big, Sony Faz, pretty big following. It went viral saying like there's actual pedos out there, not somebody that is texting. There's a definition for pedophile, not somebody that texts a 17-year-old, but somebody that actually touch younger children, right? Sneeko then comes out, right? And he makes a statement as well. And Sneeko says, well, let me actually find a text message. Sneeko then says, if you're 13 years old, all right, let me backtrack a little bit, right? So do you know who Pokimane is? Pokimane?
No.
All right, so Pokimane is another streamer, right? And it's a girl. So she pretty much is a girl that is fairly attractive. She's an Asian girl. Her and, forgot this other girl's name, but they use their, I guess, their beauty to attract a following.
Like most women,
right?
Okay. Most pretty women.
They use their beauty to attract their following, right?
They got their tits out?
I guess, and what's her? And the other one in her picture, yes, she has her tits out, right?
Basic female strategy. Not mad at it. It's what they do.
Her target audience is kids,
young men,
right? Underage kids, right? So she said. So Sneeko then says, if you're 13 years old, edging to Pokimane all day, it's okay, right? But if you're Dr. Disrespects who texts a 17-year-old 11 months, 364 days, and 59 minutes and 59 seconds, he's the worst person ever. Yeah. He said what he also then went on to say that the thing is that for Dr. Disrespect to text this person, he's considered disgusting, right? Yeah. But the moment she decides to become 18 and the clock rolls over and she becomes 18, and this person is getting praised for going on OnlyFans and stripping down and being completely naked, and she's a queen and she's strong and supportive.
Only dumb people believe that, because my thing is, right, it's still wrong. Just because you're 17 on Monday and then you're 18 on Tuesday, right? It doesn't really make it right to me. Like I wouldn't wait. You know what I mean? Like if I want to talk to said 17-year-old, right? I wouldn't wait till Tuesday till she's 18, like to go and talk to her. It's still just as weird.
Right.
Like I don't agree with it.
17 years old.
How old is this guy, Dr. Disrespect?
I could look it up.
In his 40s, right?
No, probably like 30s.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, even 18 years old. Where's your mama?
Yeah, like,
where's your mama? I can't.
Bro, I wouldn't want anything to do with a fucking 18.
I can't have a conversation.
So I wouldn't classify this guy as a pedo.
42.
Okay. So all right, mad weird, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify him as that because he didn't do anything illegal.
Yeah.
Exactly. But he's weird, right? He's doing weird things, right? And you don't know where the weirdness is gonna stop if it continues, right? So luckily this stopped before it escalated to something worse. I think he at the end of the day he deserved what he got. Like you should know better at this point. I hope everyone in this room knows better. I hope everyone I hang out in real life knows better. There's just no scenario, right? Unless it's a concrete, very clear business move, there's just no point. Because why risk your life?
It's not even just risking your life. In my personal opinion, it's just, like I said earlier, I think that's the one thing that got destroyed when social media became such a big thing in existence, was the fact that we let people become influencers that don't have any discipline. Because that's the whole point of being an influencer. If you think about it in life, like when you grew up, anybody who taught you something, it was considered a discipline. If you played sports and you had a coach, guess what? That's your discipline. Guess what has to discipline you? You did martial arts. It's a discipline. Why? Because you know everybody who even your teacher, you're learning your generals is a discipline. Like they had to be a certain. They're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be a certain level of authority figure. If you don't have discipline to control yourself or your urges, and you're in that position, you don't need to be in that position.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't be a streamer because you're predominantly kids. If you can't control yourself, and it's not even like even if you're not gonna do nothing with her, just the fact that you were talking inappropriately, even if it wasn't sexual, even if you were like cursing and down talking to the kid privately, and it's like you said, it's not a business situation, then you don't deserve to be in that business either. Because
so to play devil's advocate, because let's be clear, I completely agree with you guys. Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you guys. But to play devil's advocate with Sneeko,
you play it so well
with Sneeko's point, right? Do you think that these other female streamers that are 100%. Pretty much, being semi-inappropriate, they're wearing things that are revealing, they know that they're moaning on stream, they're doing these things that are semi-inappropriate, like and knowing that their target audience is kids, do you feel like they should get the same flag as?
No, I don't think
I don't think the same flag, but I think they should. But yes, I agree that they shouldn't have their position. I believe they shouldn't have their positions for the same reason. Like if you can't, for instance, if you are an influencer, what at that moment, that answers the question right there. What are you influencing?
Right.
So all right, so here's where I disagree, right? I think those female streamers, right? Obviously, they're trying to sell sex appeal, right? I don't think they should get the same flack as this guy, because at the end of the day, if they're just there, they're there doing what they do, right? People are coming to them, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, so now what I'm doing is I'm not holding these kids' parents accountable, because at the end of the day, they should be able to control what their kids are watching and doing.
But so you don't think that there's a sense of responsibility knowing that your demographic is younger kids?
It's like our content right now, right? I don't think it's not targeted towards kids, right?
Right.
But once we put it on YouTube, we can't control who watches it, right? whoever comes to us, that's on you and whoever is in control of you if you're underage. We shouldn't be blamed for what we put out, and if it doesn't agree with your more. So here's my thing, right? Okay. It's the same thing with music, right? Rappers or artists say all the time, right? Like, yo, I'm not a fucking parent. I'm not here to influence your kids, right? If they get a hold of my content, that's on you.
Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between making adult content and kids watching it, and then there's a difference between targeting kids, targeting a kid's audience. So we just had the same conversation, or we've had previous conversations about homosexuality, right? And homosexuality being promoted in cartoons and movies, and Disney saying that they want more homosexuality and want it to be more prominent in their space. And parents are upset with that because they're saying that this is something that is being promoted to their kids and they're not in agreement with it. So I think that there is an obligation. There is an obligation to the people that are making it, because the same way that Disney Channel targets kids and it's not for adults is the same way that these female streamers are targeting kids.
Yeah, they target kids.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, right? I'm never gonna blame someone else for what my kids watch. But I get what they're doing, right? They target kids, right? Yo, there's movies that come out, cartoon movies, right? Made by Disney. There's gay scenes in it. I peep it. That's off, right? Yeah. And then because I choose what my kids watch, right? Yes. I can't put the responsibility on other people. I get it. It's definitely becoming more difficult as a parent, right? But at the end of the day, it's really up to me. And it's up to me to teach my kids what's right and wrong. And I think a lot of these parents are doing lazy parenting, right? They're just giving their kids the iPad and hoping their kids stumble onto the right things. And next thing you know, your fucking kids are watching the craziest shit ever. And then you're blaming the people putting on the internet.
I'm gonna let you hit your point. Go ahead.
That's what happens is that the key to that is what you're saying is there's a difference between stumbling upon something and being targeted towards them with that. That's like the guy, like there's this like difference if a 17-year-old walks up to a guy and tries to talk to a guy as a grown man and he doesn't know her age. Yeah. So should he get the same flack for this dude who's talking to a 17-year-old that already knows their mind?
Not if he got lied to.
So now that's my point. So no, you don't even got to get lied to. What if you never asked? You didn't know.
Okay.
So now my point is the kid is the one who doesn't know any better. So it's not up to the parent on that point, because now that's my point of being an influencer. When you're a person that's like a teacher. If a teacher comes in and they're dressed inappropriately, am I gonna say to my kid, "Don't look," or am I gonna say to the teacher, "This is your job.
I need you to be appropriate."
And that's what I'm trying to say. So that's the same thing with them. They're if they weren't targeting them, and you're making adult content for adults, and they find it, then that's up to kids.
I get your point.
That's up to the parents. But if you're influencing to the point where you're targeting these kids, because that's what I'm saying, that streamer field is predominantly kids. Like for far as what you're targeting is predominantly kids. You're playing, even some of the games you're playing are literally safe for everyone. That's what the commercial will tell you. So
Minecraft
that Fortnite, all of those. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with your teacher.
As the adult, not you, but them being the streamer as the adult, you know what you're doing. So now at that point, that's when there's no discipline in you. So you shouldn't have your job. You should be fired from your job if you can't handle that part of your job, because that's part of what your job is.
So I agree with you as far as like a professional setting, like teaching and stuff like that. Obviously, if you go to school like dressed inappropriate, like it's on you. I get that, right? But I'm talking about like strictly like online presence. I feel like it's more on the parents at that point. Like unless she's like verbally saying like, "Young men, come to me," right? But if she's just being like a sexy streamer, I get the point. I get the intent. I do understand that, right? But if she's not directly messaging kids, right, going like really targeting them like on a one-on-one situation, if she's just there as a being and people are coming to her
and kids are coming to her, that's okay.
I can't fault her. That's at that point. It's me as the parent. I blame myself.
So this is my point. So then if that's the case, why aren't you on OnlyFans with that?
What do you mean?
If you're doing it, because you can do the same thing. So why aren't you on OnlyFans with that? Why would you be on YouTube?
I assume they are.
No, I'm saying
she did have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why would you don't need both.
You do.
No. Not to that degree. I'm saying if your target audience was adults, the paywall is actually better.
No,
so why aren't you doing that? Because we know what you're targeting. That's what I'm trying to say. We can play dumb, but we know what you're targeting. You're trying to get everyone. But what I'm saying is, you're not making content for everyone, but you're willing to take. That's what I'm saying. That's where integrity comes into play. You're willing to.
People don't have that. So you can't even say that word anymore.
But that's my point to you. When you don't have that, you can't be. The key word is influencer. And that's what
but but your thing is, right, you're holding influencers too high on the pedestal that they don't have to achieve anymore. Obviously, back in the day, right, it was a harder barrier to get through to be an influencer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, anybody with one of these is an influencer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you say the right shit and you look a certain way, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, we got to stop holding them to this expectations and just holding ourselves accountable as parents.
It's not expectation. What I'm saying is you can stop all that. You just said anybody can be one of those, but that's how you stop all that. The company that's promoting her should fire her because we know what you're doing. That's the integrity of it. Just like him. Why did you fire him? It didn't come out as public record. Why did you fire him? It was integrity. So there's no difference.
Because he targeted one-on-one.
But still, still, like you just said, he targeted one-on-one. That's still integrity. That's why you did it. It's a company's integrity. But it should be the same.
But these companies don't have. But here's the thing, right? These companies don't have integrity. They have bottom lines.
And I understand that. That's why they don't do it. But I'm just saying.
I like that.
You should do it.
I like that a lot.
Yes, but he's 100% correct. But I'm not saying that they're going to do it. But I'm saying that's what should be done. In society, if that's what was being done, we wouldn't have these problems.
Yeah, but then like you're talking about utopia at that point, right? Like a perfect society.
Not perfect,
it would.
Because before social media, we didn't have to worry about none of that. Because you gotta remember, even for you to see
we
porn,
did,
you watched Wiggly Lines. You couldn't get it. There was a paywall.
But we did it. We did in a sense, right? We had it with music. Because just to tie it back. Hold on.
You couldn't go on Strawberries and buy with the explicit.
I'm just saying to tie it back right to Eminem real quick, right? Remember when Eminem first came out, like in the early 2000s, right?
Yep.
And he was saying a lot of wild shit, right?
Yep.
And he got a lot of backlash from parents, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of their kids were listening to this shit, right? And I think he might have been one of the first ones to say, like, yo, I don't give a fuck about your kids. I'm not their parent, right? And I at that time, right? I'm like, what's the problem? Yo, now as an adult, right? I understand because why are we holding these people to such high expectations, right? Because at the end of the day, right? I control what my kid sees and listens.
1,000%. I think that there's people want to take away from the fact that the parent is the most prominent person in the child's life to
You're the first line of defense.
to filter through what the kid should be watching and should be intaking, right? But I think that there is a large portion of responsibility on these people, on these content creators that know who their target audience is. If you know your target audience is people that are underage, there's no reason why you should be making content that is sexually explicit, sexually or any other sexual innuendos with your target audience being minors. It's like you know that it's like if I know, right, that we're preaching to the youth, right? We're preaching to the youth and we're talking to the youth and we're talking about, I don't know, we have a history of talking about, I don't know, I guess following certain things throughout in your early adolescence, in your early adolescence, right? In your early adolescence, right? I'm not gonna be doing that in a fucking thong. You feel me? Like I'm not gonna be doing that with my dick out. Like it's like I have to make sure that I'm gonna be appropriate in the way like that I'm conveying my message to them. Because it doesn't matter
I understand both your points, right? I'm not necessarily disagreeing with it, right? But I'm just being realistic about what the reality of life is, right? Because I get it, right? If things were as how they should be, right? The moment she comes out and does things that's gonna attract young men, right? We should cancel her right there. Like the company itself should be like, yo, this isn't what we represent. Like you're coming at this in a hypersexual way. We don't want this type of reputation, right? But the reality of it, right? These companies want eyes on them, right? And they're gonna let it go by in any legal way. So at the end of the day, right? As a parent, I have to step in and I have to be the one that's held accountable. That's 100%. So I understand your point.
To get my point across a little bit better, so you can get what I'm saying, because I fully agree with you on that one. So this is what's funny. When you take what you said, the Eminem situation is what I'm saying needs to happen to her. So how you mentioned Eminem, people forget that there were protocols put in place for that whole time.
Yeah, they put the barcode.
So if somebody sold it to you, that wasn't on Eminem. That's on the store, and then an employee could actually be fired. I've seen somebody get fired for that. And there used to be games. Grand Theft Auto happened the same thing. So now,
what's that barcode?
The explicit.
The barcode.
So like the parental advisory.
Parental advisory. That's what it was.
So now, my thing is with her. That's why I said my point is. So why isn't it on OnlyFans? If your show we know what your show is. You still can make money. The company still could promote you. But why isn't your show on OnlyFans? Because you're literally
double dipping.
You're targeting minors.
Yeah, she's double dipping.
Yeah, and that's to me. That's where I think the company, even if you don't want to fire her, you should step in and say we're moving this content to this because we know that it shouldn't be here. And I think to me, when we allow, that's the problem. We still support things like that and allow companies to do it, and that's why they could do it. Because back in the day, that was actually a law to have the parental advisory on it. If an album had cursing and didn't, you can actually.
I mean, they still have it. Like you got to put like rated R, PG-13.
Yeah, but now you're supposed to be able to.
At the end of the day, I'm assuming this girl, she just dresses sexy. Right?
Yeah, dresses sexy promotes.
But she's kind of like
she's moaned on stream a couple times.
In that little gray area where it's like she's not ODing, where it's like blatant, but it's like if you're smart enough, you could put it together, right? Yeah. So like I said, at that point, it's up to the parent to kind of step in.
That's 100%.
But all right, on to the next thing. Let's talk about this Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney thing.
Okay. So
Ryan Garcia and the legal team have made a settlement agreement with the National Boxing League. He has agreed to the following: a suspension of at least 1 year. He forfeited $1 million to the purse, which is, I think, Golden Boys, and a $10K fine. And Devin Haney's loss gets expunged. So Devin Haney's officially undefeated again. How are we feeling about this? Because, and to backstory is because Ryan Garcia tested positive twice for some illegal substance, which is essentially a steroid.
Well, no, it wasn't a steroid. That's the funny part.
Or performance.
It was a weight loss.
I still
but that's different. It's different because that's the reason why. That's why other boxers, everybody's like shaky on it because it's not. They from what I read, it's not a. They're still unclear because they said because usually this happens. Why is it coming up now? Just normally, that's why they touch you before the fight so you don't hurt the person. Yeah. Why is all this coming up now? They're saying that 2 previous tests came up inconclusive. No, one came up inconclusive. One came up negative. Another one came up a low level, and then the last one came up a high level. So that's the confusion of all of it. So to me, that seems awkward because I've never heard of something happening this far away from a fight after a fight has happened. I've never heard of it.
But they took these samples prior to the fight.
Yeah, and they tested before. And that's what I'm saying. They don't let you in the ring. Yeah, that's the whole point. So that means you let him in the ring. He could have killed me.
It was a weird.
He could have killed me.
It was a weird situation to begin with because Ryan Garcia went into the fight 3 pounds overweight, and Devin Haney still decided to go with it, and then all of this. So this has been kind of a weird situation. And then Ryan Garcia was doing a lot of publicity
antics,
stunts,
right?
And now a lot of people are saying that the people he's trying to expose is the one that's kind of setting him up.
I don't know if that's true, but I do think it's something behind it because he's had a beef with Golden Boy for a long time. He's trying to leave, and that's why he almost didn't get this fight, and that's part of why he was acting up because if he would have lost this fight, they would have dropped him, but nobody would have paid him what he wanted. Because he didn't get paid that 1.5 that he's giving back.
It's out of it. It's out of his.
That's not a lot of money because Devin got like 6. Yeah. And the thing about it is he had to pay Devin, I think, like 1.2 to do the fight because he came in overweight. So that was his penalty. So that's why Devin still did the fight. So, but he bet on himself and won like $12 million.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing behind it. But to me, it does seem funny because what boxing does, what nobody talks about in boxing, but Floyd and a few other fighters back in the day, boxing doesn't have an association. So like you have the law, which is like Vegas, you know what I mean? But there's no association. So what that means is there's no union. So like I can screw you over. I can pay you $10,000 and make you fight all the top fights and take millions. Like all the promoters do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it on every fight, like where someone's like, "Yo, I got fucked out of $1 million."
Yeah. And so if they want to kill your career as a whole, the promoters can actually do something like this, and there's nobody can say nothing. They can pay somebody and say change it. And I'm not saying that's what happened, but there's fighters.
There's no regulations.
Yeah, there's no regulations because they all got friends. It's because people forget, like they said, boxing is a mob sport. It was actually came from the mob. So it still is to this day because where's the money come from? Everybody always asks, like, how's all these millions getting paid? Because think about it, HBO stopped doing boxing. They don't fund it anymore. Showtime barely funds it. They're under PBC. How are these fights still getting millions and millions of dollars, but they're not selling those pay-per-view numbers anymore? There's no pay-per-view for most of these fights. And if it is, it doesn't do high numbers. So everybody's asking that same question. It's mostly betting. So now somebody's probably mad they lost the bet. That's how I feel about it because it's too far along.
Yo, that's a good conspiracy theory, right? Yo, do you
somebody high up?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because they all don't like him. To be honest with you, he's young. They like him as a prospect that he would garner a lot of money. But he's starting to try to think for himself and go the Al Heyman route, which a lot of fighters have went. And
he's done a lot of like controversial takes outside of boxing as well. But not only his fighting, it's just like him as a person. People are starting to
because he's coming at it a little different than how Floyd did. Obviously, Floyd was very mouthy as well, or even Davis is like mouthy. Yeah. But they're like disrespectful to the fighters. Like Garcia is like talking about world politics and like where he's like, yo, you're not in your lane. We don't like you here.
Right. Yep. He ruffles feathers, and what it is he's not worth if you're talking the sport of boxing, he's not worth enough money. That's why Floyd can kind of say what he wants a lot of times. He's not worth enough money to ruffle any feathers. Yeah. They will get rid of you like this, and you'll never fight again. And that's the thing about it. Floyd had beef with promoters.
But the only issue at this point, right, is Ryan Garcia has become too much of a household name. So if he disappears, right, it gets questioned.
But not enough. He's not. The reason why is he's not a world champion.
He's not a world champion, right? But I think it gets questioned in a sense because he's a bigger social media influencer almost, or not bigger, but almost as equal as a boxer at this point. Because a lot of people probably haven't even really watched his whole fights, right? But now he's on social media heavy, right? He's doing a lot of these tactics that influencers use, right? And he's becoming very popular in that way, which is keeping him a lot more relevant than better or bigger fighters than him.
So now this is where they kill that. So now you kill that integrity. He's now considered a cheater. How many people are his fans? That's where it changed. Steven Jackson came on and was like, and we're like, what does Steven Jackson got to do with this?
Hold on. This is one of the. I tell you what, this is one of the weirdest things I've seen, right? Because as standing right now, right, he is a cheater, right? Yeah. He tested positive, right? And I'm going through my rounds on social media, right? And people are on his side. Bro, people are giving shit to Devin Haney still, right? Which
pretty much saying that he would have lost regardless. He's been losing around for forever.
It's insane that Devin Haney's still getting shit on when, for all we know as of right now, right, Ryan Garcia cheated. Yep. Right? How the fuck are people giving Devin Haney shit?
I'm about to tell you why. Anybody who's been big follower of boxing, Devin Haney was founded by Floyd's father. Brought to Floyd's gym. Floyd didn't want him. Floyd's father took him as a fighter. He was Floyd's father. Devin Haney's been talking like Floyd since he was 15. Talking like Floyd. So if you notice, Devin Haney had all the belts just now. Basically except for one. Why isn't he bigger than Gervonta? Because the difference is Gervonta comes from nothing. And Gervonta talks to his opponent. Like you said, he's entertaining. Yeah. But Gervonta comes from nothing, so they relate to him. Gervonta can barely read. This is a fact. He said he dropped out of school when Floyd found him.
That must be the key to being a fucking good boxer, right? Don't know how to read.
So you can hear when he talks, even in his speech, and he tells you I was in the gym all the time. That's what I did. So with Devin Haney though, people genuinely didn't like him beforehand. Think about it. You don't know a Devin Haney fan. Be real. Some people be like, oh yeah, but he doesn't knock people out. He's not a. So there's nothing.
I've never even heard of him before.
He's not entertaining, and he's a world. I'm talking about. He's almost unified all the belts, which is he would have been a Hall of Fame fighter. He actually is. I think might be close to that now because he still had 3 of the belts. But nobody
and
likes
undefeated
him.
Now. Yeah.
But Ryan Garcia, people liked him. So now, case in point, you can't you know what I mean. So even
but that's the thing. Which prior to this, Ryan Garcia wasn't a likable guy.
More than Haney though.
No, I'm saying more than Haney. More than Haney. But I'm just saying, right after the Gervonta fight, Ryan Garcia was like a punk at that point, right? He's this guy's a loser. And the build up to this fight, all the social media, he must have got
his image changed completely.
No, he changed, right? But that's what's fucking amazing to me right now, how he turned around his reputation. Because bro, we watched that fight. I mean, I know you don't watch so many fights. I remember we watched him get knocked out, right? And everyone's like, yo, what a fucking loser, right? Yo, people were like, they thought he got paid to take the knee, right? There was so much shit.
He gave up.
All of a sudden, this guy just became a fan favorite out of nowhere.
Because in boxing, they always say, when you name heavyweights, right? You'll name Muhammad Ali.
Tyson.
I'm about to say, that's the next name. But why? Because Tyson lost about 6 fights and 4 of them are to bums, to people that fix washing machines, literally. So then when you ask the question is, why do you name Tyson?
Entertainment?
And that's what Ryan Garcia is. And what he learned to do is, even though I lost, his whole route was, I'm going to go entertain because that's what I did to get me the fight.
But that's you can say the same about a Shakur.
Shakur, people like Shakur because he can box. But the reason why Shakur's not as popular is because he doesn't entertain.
But no, that's what I'm saying. That's it. He's just too chill.
Yep. And he's ill. To me, he's the best one.
Yeah.
To me, he's the only person who has a shot at beating Tank, and because he can box, but he doesn't. And Ryan said it. If you go, Ryan went on Breakfast Club and said, they said, who would you fight? They named the 3, and he said the last person is Shakur, and he was like, I think he's the best boxer. He says it. He was like, but dude, he's gonna run for 12 rounds, and I'm gonna. He's like, we're not.
Because once you start getting into boxing, you realize it's not about knockouts.
It's not.
It's kind of almost like the last thing.
Lasting.
It's obviously you want to fucking knock out, right? You want the highlight, right? But who did fucking Davis just fight last weekend?
I forgot the kid's name.
He was bottom line, right? He was losing.
Who Davis?
Yeah,
so,
to me, he was before that knockout. If that went the full rounds and they counted points, he was gonna lose.
Yeah.
But now, think about it. We don't even know this fucking guy's name, and he was winning the fight prior to the knockout. Because it's all about entertainment and knockouts.
And Gervonta is who he is because that's why when he gets to 8th round, either 5th to 8th round, you're going out in a stretcher. That's almost literally. There's multiple people who have been beating him before, and it's the same thing happens. He studies you till he can get the knockout, and he's waiting for one punch. He can box you. People don't know.
But people are speculating that he hasn't been studying because he was getting some serious hits.
No, he was doing it on purpose because then what he did is
I don't know about that.
He was getting beat, but what I mean by on purpose, I'm not saying he took damage, but he was trying to set up. And if you ask the kid after the fight, it's funny when I can't remember his name, but the kid he was fighting said, how did this happen to you? Like they asked, how did he lose? He said, I was against the ropes for too long. He said, because I was trying to find one shot. He said, the reason why, and they were like, well, you were winning. Why were you looking for one shot? Because I needed to get him out. Right. Yeah. And he felt like round one.
I need to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
He felt like round one. And he said, I was on the ropes for too long trying to find that shot. And he caught me. And that's it. And that's what he's doing.
The ring got too small for him, bro. The ring got, he kept cutting him off. The ring got way too small.
So and it's like I said, it's this entertainment factor. Like, we've seen a bunch of people, like, we only know who Buster Douglas is because the not one round knockout. What else did he do his whole career? People in this world know who Buster Douglas is because he knocked out.
But most boxers aren't knockout artists.
Nah, they're not.
That's why it's most. There's like thousands, not thousands, but like hundreds of boxers that are really good, right? That you'll never know their name, right? Because they're not knocking out and they're not on social.
They're not public. Right?
I would. If I was like managing a boxer at this point, I'd have you on
focus on social media,
on TikTok. But that's how people forget how people wonder how the fuck did the Paul brothers get these fights? Like, how are they fighting?
But that's different.
It is, but it is different, right? But in a sense, but the thing they're big. They're not boxers, right? They're influencers, right? And people want to be influenced,
right?
Or they want to watch the entertainment. Bro, people was it which one is it? Paul, Logan or
Jake?
Which one fought fucking Floyd?
Logan.
Do people not I don't think people grasp how insane of a fucking thing. No, not even the size of it, right? But people don't realize you have to earn a fight with Floyd, right? Like, it doesn't matter if how good of a boxer are. You have to earn that. The fact that this guy who's not really a boxer somehow, even though it was an exhibition match, right, got a fight with Floyd Mayweather, that's insane. But it came down to money and clout.
Yeah. And not just that, people don't realize if you go back, that's why I said their situation is a little different. They're in Floyd's gym when they were 5 in the ring with him. Like, they were their family. Yeah, they were. Yeah, so that's why they came up in the ring. People don't know that they weren't boxing for real, but they were training in there because they got.
I know they were state champions wrestlers, but I know they've always been doing shit like that.
Yeah, and they known their family is known, so that's what it's. So they move around well, and that's not just them. That's how I said Devin Haney came in at 15. Magic Man. That's what they used to say. He was Magic Man because he was getting people. He was sparring with Floyd at 15. He was that good. He can box, but he don't knock nobody out. So that's why you don't know his name. And then the same thing with a lot of these. Shakur is amazing. Shakur is a gold. People don't realize how crazy it is. And he's Andre Ward's protege. Another person who's a gold.
No one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. Because at the end of the day, can you knock somebody out and entertain me by talking shit? And that's what Gervonta does. Gervonta talks shit. You can hit him 130 times. He hit you once, and they love it. They love for it.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got one more topic before we wrap this up. So, as some of y'all may know, JJ Redick just became the Lakers head coach, and then not even a week later, some controversy came out about my guy, right?
Yeah.
So somebody by the name of Halima Nash tweeted, "I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on campus of Duke University, which is where JJ went, while I was doing work with the basketball team. And today he was named the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a world." What do y'all think?
I don't know.
I
think the
it
timing
matters.
is suspect. To me, that's always been a big.
And so just for context, JJ Redick has been in the NBA since 2008, or
I think more than might be. It's been a minute.
He was in the Magic, I think, in 2008. So it might be 2006.
He was in. The reason why I say that is because I remember I was watching his interview and he was in a McDonald's All-American with Melo.
Okay.
So that should tell you how long he's been.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe maybe 2005, 6.
he was in I think the Jordan Brand camp with Melo. So like that's crazy.
So he's been famous.
Bro, how do you remember this stuff?
Because he just did. That's what I'm saying. Before he started the podcast with LeBron, he went on Carmelo's show.
Okay.
And Melo was saying how this is a running topic with JJ Redick for his career. Even not to go off topic, but coaches and people have always talked to JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Like he's such a and he's got the workman mentality. He got the workman mentality. So to him, he's always thought like I'm not there yet. But coaches and stuff have always talked JJ Redick. That's why you know who JJ Redick is. But think about it. What did he really do for you to know who? He's not but I'm saying he's not an all-star.
Yeah.
So some people you know JJ Redick more than you might know a guy who made an all-star team.
Right.
And so Melo was like, he not taking more shots than me. Like because I hear about him. Like I gotta kill him. So he said the same thing happened with Kobe. I forgot what they were at. I think it was at the USA thing. Kobe started slamming him on his head and going up for layups and everything because Coach K kept talking about JJ Redick. JJ Redick's gonna come here and do this, gonna do that. Kobe's like, nah. JJ Redick, JJ who? So like his whole career has always been like that, and he's always been like, I don't know why other people view me that way. And Melo had to tell him like, that's why. He's like, I didn't even know that because I always thought like I could barely make the NBA. So like, you know what I mean? But I don't think that it don't sound like his character, but I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not, but he's been famous for almost 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's just
why would she come out and say it now?
Yeah, he's been famous for almost 20 years, and now all of a sudden you could have said this when he was playing. You probably got a check. Now you're not gonna get one.
Or maybe even like a year or two ago when he first became on ESPN. Like he's been like the face of for a long time.
He's on a TV
show.
All
right. So hypothetically, right? Let's say JJ did say it. They come out with proof, right?
Yep.
What should the Lakers do moving forward? Should they get rid of him as a coach?
What did they do to Donald Sterling? They got rid of him as.
They made him sell the team. They kind of forced him out.
But that was Donald Sterling's situation was more than just that tape. That tape is what made people know. But people had problems with Donald Sterling, which was in the news even before that for years. Like even Doc Rivers played for him, didn't like him. That's why he was like, eh.
Yeah, and they got a document. They got a whole show about it.
It's a lot. So like his thing is like
deeply rooted. Essentially, yeah.
And now if you came,
I mean, didn't they have like a picture of him in like the '60s throwing or like on the sidelines while black people were going into schools or something?
I don't know how accurate that was.
This is my thing, and this is and I'm gonna be honest. This is just me. I do not care. I tell this people to most.
You don't care about what?
Thank you. Thank you for saying.
Thank
you for saying it, bro. Thank you for saying it.
Give it context. Give it context.
I do not care that he called whoever he called the N-word whenever that happened.
You talking about JJ Redick?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
if it happened.
Yeah, if it happened. The reason why I say that is it doesn't mean like it should be allowed to that. I will not reprimand a person 20 years later for something they did 20 years ago that wasn't criminal. Like if because 20 years ago you weren't the same person standing in front of me. That sounds to me atrocious.
Okay.
Because if you say that to me,
I like how you specify it wasn't criminal because I was going to argue that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but all right. So now
you just be ready to argue.
So now, and what I mean by that is because I don't know what happened. Like,
no, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
So now, this is what I would say. And I've had this conversation with people before. When it becomes to racism, fully understandable. But if you feel that way, I want to know, how do most people feel about their grandparents or their great grandparents? Because they forget that in a time in life,
they were
racist was automatic, and people don't realize not just white against black. You had black people like, I don't like Puerto Rican.
To this day.
Yeah, but
to this day.
But older generation, that was actually a norm. They were actually kind of influenced to be that way. Just like most people who were raised to be racist. They weren't around during slave times, but their parents.
Bro, most black people to this day is racist towards white people.
100%. So that's what I'm saying. So to me, that's why I said, so how do you feel about if that's the case, what's the reprimand for your grandparents when they felt that way? Or what's your, because at that point, it's like, it's different if you did something, like I said, criminal or something where if he stopped that person from getting an education, where if he bullied that person or something like that, then they need to take that up with however they take that up with legal action or whatever may have you. But I'm not about to fire a man for coaching a basketball team that has nothing to do with the opposite. That's just weird to me. Not just that, I'm surprised that I don't think that would have happened because you're playing with a predominantly black team where I think you probably would have got your head kicked in, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think that there was even, that's why I said this.
I mean, what do you think she gains by like bringing it up now or making this up? Just attention?
I think
social media now made where anything that's not socially suitable can be used for attention. So like say right now, if I caught you drinking a Four Loko and people are saying like nobody should ever have those. I can put that out about you and push it like, oh, look at this guy. He's supposed to be for his neighbor. He's supposed to be, and then they cancel you because of that. But you enjoy whatever brothers you enjoy. That doesn't.
You know what's crazy? It does nothing for the person that actually puts the information out too. Like it's not like they gain a following.
I mean, it's like if it's fake, right? It's like straight up hater. Like you're just like that's like straight hater behavior. It's like, you know what? I don't like that. You're doing too good a life right now. Let me just take you down a peg.
It could be somebody who used to date him. It could be somebody who used to be a friend of somebody who used to date him. You never know. And that's how easy though. And that's why I don't like the social media aspect of a lot of things. That's how easy a person's legacy can be taken down. A lot of people don't get that.
Absolutely.
Like that's why even like when you said earlier when the civil case with the Cassie thing. People got upset when people defended Diddy, but I understood it because
I mean, we defend. Here's the thing.
I said the same thing.
No, yep. We didn't defend him. I just didn't want to label him something before I had the facts, right? All right. Here's the thing, right? As of right now, I could label Diddy as a domestic violence person, right? Yep. I still can't label the man as a sex trafficker or human trafficker because there has not been any proof yet, right? And the FBI have the tapes that were in his house, right? Like, why hasn't that come out, right? Mm-hmm. So, because now people are like, well, if one thing happened, it must be true. Yep, no, because at the end of the day, right? If something like that happens, and just to kind of tie it back, right? That's the thing with Drake, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are calling him a pedophile, right? It's like, okay, I've seen videos of him doing some very weird stuff, very weird stuff that I don't condone, right? But can I say he's a pedophile? I can't.
Exactly.
But if there's proof, then that's a different conversation, right? I don't like how we just hear something and then just go with it without any question.
I agree, and that's my problem with social media in that front. I feel like it controls too much. It influences too much. People don't have discipline anymore. They hear something and they run with it, and then it's just a rumor getting passed that becomes truth. So then after that, you could kill somebody's legacy or you can kill it as a whole. One thing I noticed that we do as a people, even on the topic of race, if you notice, most predominant, I'll say, black or foreign figures, what's the first thing they do? They tell you that the reason why they got there is because they did what? Something wrong. Jay-Z's rich because he's Illuminati.
Oh yeah,
Diddy's rich because he's homosexual.
I mean?
They say and it's always with a figure that
I always wonder if white people do that to other white people. Like, if you see like if you see like nobody's ever like, Brad Pitt's part of the Illuminati, right? It's like, is the Illuminati only?
I'm still waiting on Dan Schneider's situation to unfold.
I was like, is the Illuminati only for famous black people? Like, white people don't get in it.
So that's what kills me. And I hate it because I feel like, and we do it to our own. It's not even it's not even like I would say, I don't see a white person saying that about them. It's us. And I'm like, where did you get it from? And nobody knows. It's just a rumor that it's just
what was said.
And then my thing is, Usher got too popular. Or now he was sleeping with Diddy 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Then it's always something.
He's responsible for his wife's death or some shit.
So then just like for so the woman that put out that tweet about JJ Redick, right? She also had a follow-up tweet, right? So for context, this was years ago, and I'm a believer that we all have space to grow, especially from our college level maturity. We live in a world where these exchanges happen, and this intersection of race and privilege and lack of accountability all collided with that presser. So that was a weird follow-up tweet.
So then if you feel like that's the case, why make the first case to begin with?
She wanted attention, and then when she got the attention, and then the
attention comes with backlash.
Yeah, it wasn't positive. It wasn't all positive. So
she folded.
Turned into let me retract this statement in a different way. Show it in a different light.
That follow-up tweet didn't really help her at all. Now because that makes your earlier tweet look like you really just wanted attention, and then you might have made it up. Because now your credibility is getting shot on why you did it to begin with.
Exactly. I think a lot of that's what happens. Like I remember even when the R. Kelly case was going on, I was confused because when they read his charges and they tell you his charges, and then you see when they put out what was the thing called Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I was like, is anybody hearing these women or what they're saying? Because every woman I heard up there was willingly going with him, and none of them were underage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody talks about that.
And even the ones that were underage, their parents knew that they were going with
sent them basically because and that's why I'm like I'm confused because it doesn't make him exempt, but they talked about his past, and even all the women talked about his past. So that means he shared it with you, so you knew about his traumas. And
bro, that was public information when I was like 14, like when the whole piss thing came out, right? Like, I don't know how he never got charged. Like
he did, he beat it.
And I'm just saying, but like how that went on like for 20 years, like how How did anybody see that situation? It's like, all right, like this guy's cool.
So now this is what happened. So like this is what, to me. This is no. I have no bail for R. Kelly. He deserves whatever he gets. But what my problem, only problem I have with what happened with him is, you knew he had traumas, issues, and even all the people who are all in all these videos making money off of his demise, all the people that worked with him, that knew him, not one of you attempted to help that man. Even the family members, you are all in videos because they're paying you, and in these same videos, you're saying, I didn't trust him because he didn't do for me. All of them said that in this.
Yeah.
So even the women, when he stopped doing for them, because that's what they wanted, careers.
Yeah.
When he didn't give them a career and they had 3 years of sex with him, then it was like, oh yeah, he used me. Well, you came to use him, and you just mad you got played.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it turned into if you watch those stories. Because I started watching more and more, and I'm like, wait, this is backward. He survived them.
I don't know about all that. I'm not talking about all of them, because the ones who actually went to court are the ones that are not on that actually video. Okay.
The ones who are on the video, like his ex-wife and them, he survived. They were living off of him.
But nonetheless, all that does is just pushes the narrative it just pushes their narrative, you know? Like it just pushes the narrative against him. And that's what they want.
Most people go off headlines, not proof. Yeah. Right? So once you just read the headline, this is what happened. Like, okay, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Like you said, like none of the information in the thing was actually going along with the actual narrative, but like they're like, okay, nonetheless, we're gonna still go along with this.
All right, and our last thing today. So Don Toliver dropped an album.
Yeah.
Right? Hardstone Psycho, 20 songs. Got features from Yeet, Lil Uzi Vert, Travis Scott, featuring Metro, Tizo Touchdown, Kodak, and Charlie Wilson, which I was kind of pleasantly surprised about. How you guys feeling Don Toliver's new album?
Tizo Touchdown. I feel like he's been in a lot of places lately. Yeet also.
I'm not too Yeet's everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of him, but I'm seeing him pop up a lot more. Charlie Wilson was a surprise to me on this album.
Yeah, it was. It was a pleasant surprise though. It was something different from him.
It sounded good. So what do you guys think of the album?
I'm not the biggest fan
of it. Me neither.
And you know what's crazy is over the past couple months I've been realizing that I'm becoming a Don Toliver fan, right? Yeah. And at first we saw him at M.A.A.d in America, and I wasn't really like that excited to see him perform, right? But then after, I don't know what it has been, but like the start of the year, I've been really getting into his music. So I was thoroughly like anticipating what I was gonna hear in this album, and I really wasn't impressed.
Nothing stood out?
Yeah, I wasn't really.
Would you rate
impressed.
If you had to give me out of a 10, I'm giving him like a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, I was gonna give him I was gonna say 5.
I was about to say just only like, I'm not gonna lie, replay value for me is like 3-4 records at most. And there's a reason for that though. I like Don Toliver more so on features, and I like Don Toliver's style. But when he's on his own, to me, somebody turn the reverb and auto tune up on Travis Scott. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like
I was gonna say that Don Toliver to me is almost like a generic version of Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And first of all, like one of my favorite songs on this album was the one with Travis Scott, the Ice Age. That was a banger.
Yeah. So
actually, him and I like the song with Future and Metro.
So, and this is my problem with Don Toliver compared to Travis Scott, because I like Travis Scott, and I can't do too much of Travis Scott at times either. But there's times where I can and can't, depending. Don Toliver doesn't come off of all of the sound effects. Travis will. There's records where during the record, Travis will have a whole where it sounds like that, and then he comes out and then you hear him in an actual rap verse, and then you hear him. He switches back and forth. Don Toliver kind of, to me, has that sound throughout the whole record, to where he's just an instrument on the record more than he is an artist.
Yeah,
sometimes I can't even fully understand what he's saying, because it's so much of him like in a pocket of almost like lullaby.
It's like a constant. It's like a constant hook. Like his songs are almost like a constant hook, like chorus, where it's like there's no break in a sense, where it's like catch your breath. Like, I mean, I actually. So the first time I listened to the album, I didn't like it at all. But I gotta be honest with you, I drank a little bit, chilled, turned it up, and this to me is like, in your regular day life, this doesn't have that much of a replay value. I'm telling you, get a little nice. You play this album, it jumps right up to a 6.5, bro.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
He made a song which it's a majority of hooks and more lit music in a sense, where like you listen to this like on a Saturday, Friday night, like you chilling, got a couple in you, maybe got I don't know if you smoke weed, you smoke hookah, vape, whatever. You're in a nice little buzz. These shits is gonna hit.
They got the slap. Yeah. Maybe.
The Future joint. I think, but Future is like a cheat code to me at this point. You have Future on the Future or on a Future. It's like, okay, yeah, that's good. It's an automatic.
Like, a lot of times it turns into a Future record if you got them on the so. But it's funny you say that because I had that experience yesterday. Even though it's an artist that's good, but I went to Chris Brown concert and he did 11/11.
You went to the concert?
Yeah.
You go up on stage?
Nah.
Pay for the picture?
Nah. Well, I seen somebody pay for a picture. Actually went viral today, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, he and like I've seen him perform before, and I know he's an amazing performer. But like I gotta admit, like that concert actually changed my view
on him
on records that I don't like from him. That I like now. Like I woke up this morning.
Wait, hold on. 11/11 is a phenomenal album, though.
He didn't just do 11/11. Okay. Though. At the end, he went to certain records that to me only have certain places to be played.
Okay, I know.
Like, you know, a year 3 times you're not driving around. Right. You know what I mean? But when he performs it, and then I'm like, wait, like now when I go put it on now, I hear it in a different light.
You know, it's funny. I told you so. My girl brought me to the Drake and J. Cole tour this year, right? And he played a lot for all my dogs, right? Which was a terrible album, right?
Yeah, to me too, but
yeah. But yo, when I heard it in person, I was like, hold on. So I'm like, wait, this that song I hated? So when you listen to an artist perform a song live, you get a whole different perspective on the song. Yo, if it's a song you hate, you might like it out, and if it's a song you like, you're gonna fucking love it.
Exactly. He did a couple, and there's a ton of records I love that he did, but then he did a couple records where I was like, that's a record that I only listen to like in a movie, like when it comes on. But then when he did it, and I hear like
you hear the vocals,
the performance, everything. Yeah,
because the one thing that he did in past, he usually had the mic on his ear.
Yeah.
No, he had the whole time a mic in his hand, and he's dancing, but his vocal performance for 2.5 hours never shifted. He never sounded tired. Even at the end, he's smiling, laughing like he was never on stage. Even the dancers are breathing heavy, and he did everything with
good shape.
Yeah, and I'm like,
he's like, Kendrick at the pop-out show, right? Yeah. Good shape for breath work.
Yeah, he did the same record 6 times. I don't even know if I could do that, but you know what I mean? But yeah, that was crazy. There's records that came across to me that's so when you say that being lit, it makes me think that if I went to a Don Toliver show, I'd probably like his album because the way his music sounds.
I'm telling you, like I kind of put myself in like more of a scenario where like I was forced to like it. I was like, oh, actually, like I said, the first time I heard it, I'm like, man, this is really But after like I put myself in the right environment, I'm like, yo, this is actually a pretty good album, yo. Yeah. But yo, if you like I said, if you're looking for lyrical shit, this isn't it, right? If you're looking for more of a lit Friday night vibe, I think it has something to offer for you. But yo, I think we'll end it on that, bro. Yo, thank you for coming on.
Yo,
appreciate it.
This was a phenomenal fucking episode. Like top tier episode, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Appreciate you guys for having me. Definitely all over.
Yo, gotta have you back, bro.
Nah, for sure.
Yo, let them know where they can find you or listen to your podcast.
Yes, man. You can follow me on IG at Nasdaq Ness, NASYNESS, and my podcast is at With All Due Disrespect Pod. You can find it on Apple, YouTube, and you can follow me on IG also. It's at WIT WIT All Due Respect _ pod.
All right, y'all heard the man. Make sure y'all tap in. As always, please drop a comment. Make sure you hit the sub button, and we'll see you next episode. Peace.